Welcome to the Galen Trombley Show. Be sure to subscribe, review, and share the episode. You can follow me on social media at Galen Trombley. I hope you enjoy the show.
Greetings. Please hold for a very important message. Light speed sequence initiated. How may I help you?
Bonjour.
Security breach.
The truth shall set you free. Awesome. It's a miracle.
Stabilize. 3, 2, 1. Mission complete.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
I remember
The night it came out. Yeah,
the
so
night
you
it
keep
came out.
going.
Okay, so I remember when this is sad.
This is the
'cause
most unprofessional start to any podcast we've ever done. Go ahead, just keep
deep
talking.
into Biggest Loser. So when Bob Harper was still on there, but they replaced Jillian Michaels. Remember her?
Yeah, she wasn't as good.
She wasn't as good, but she was like the staple of the show, and they replaced her with remember Dolvett?
No.
Remember Dolvett was the black guy that was on the red team, and then they replaced her with him, I think. And
Oh,
we
like
were
big jack dude, right?
Big Jack.
Yeah.
Well, they were all jacked. And then there was the other guy, the blonde haired guy that came in, and I forget what his name was. And then they had another girl that was very similar to. She looked like Jillian, but like blonde. Dude, we were all over that show. We would watch it like. This is so sad. We'd watch it like the night it came out, like not like. We're not talking about like TBS.
What was the time?
reruns.
What was the timeline on that?
On
Like year? Like what year would this been?
oh god, this had to have been like 08, 07, 08, 09 probably
So kind of like it's like height.
at its peak. Yeah,
Um,
dude, I loved watching. Like I honestly could have. Back then, you couldn't stream anything, so it literally would have watched like the beginning of the episode and just who cares about the beginning? Get me straight to the weigh-in, and then I want to see what they look like now. I want to know who fell off, who kept losing weight. I loved it.
it's like the weigh-in on The Office when they all step on the scale and then Pam gets off. It's like Pammy, you're not going to be here, and then everybody tries to do the math, and she's like,
Pam, you're 260 pounds. Close, Kevin, but not quite. No, I don't weigh 260 pounds. Not even close.
a mistake plus 11 get you home by 7.
Math is hard, isn't it, Kevin?
He was home by 4 that day. No, you know what show was like I grew up watching this. Did you ever watch Survivor?
Yeah. So you watched Survivor with like my high school buddy's girlfriend. Her family was like religious, so we would go over to her house and watch it at night.
I watched the finale of season 1, and then like
Richard,
yep. And I don't think I missed an episode. I mean, I probably watched 99% of episodes up until probably the time I graduated high school.
that's dedication.
So it was like, I would say 8 years I probably watched. And then once I got out like college and stuff, I just stopped watching. I think my parents might still watch it.
Did your parents, your whole family watched it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this was before you could like DVR and stream and everything else. It was like 8 o'clock. I think it was Thursday it came out.
You had to watch it.
You had to watch it you had to watch it when it came out. So like
Right.
8 o'clock on Thursday, that was like the show. Like nobody argued over who was watching what on the TV. Like we watched Survivor, like, and everybody liked it. It wasn't like this wasn't like
How old are you? Because you're what, 4 years younger than me?
The first year I was
37.
probably like 10-ish, 10, 11, probably 10.
Okay, so I would have been like a teenager.
When I was 11, I was born in, yeah. So yeah, you were probably like, I was
3 or 4 years old.
I was probably 4th or 5th grade when the first season came out. But I remember watching. I'm like, this is really cool. And we only watched the finale. It was like a 2-hour live finale. But I think they did the first one not in front of real people. I think they still did it at the actual island. So like I believe, I think he wins, but there's nobody there to congratulate him because he just
Right.
won on the game show.
Yeah, because now don't they like they have like the final meeting and then like the screen goes black and then they walk out on the stage as if it just
Yes, like a cutaway.
it's like they walk off and then they walk onto the stage
The rise and fall of Richard Hatch. I don't.
and fall.
Well, didn't he get arrested for like? Was it sexual assault or child?
Jesus
Like, no, they'll probably. I'm not. It was something like with 51 months
51
in prison.
months in prison? What the hell did he do?
Oh, it was tax evasion. My bad.
Sex report. Okay, sorry.
He's not a sex predator. Sorry, I thought he was. He was naked on the show, but maybe he was. I don't. Acquittals.
He's a registered tax evader.
Tax evasion. Okay. Well, you know, that's still like
you know
playing
what?
with fire.
And you know what? It was probably not even on purpose, that tax evasion. He probably had an accountant that was just like, dude, yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. And then 2 years later, the feds show up at his door.
Yeah, Survivor Borneo. I didn't know they called it Survivor Borneo. I think it was just Survivor.
I thought simply it was just Survivor.
Yeah. Wait, Survivor Borneo, originally known simply as Survivor
Oh, they probably
Tiga.
renamed it, right?
It probably after. I mean, because then it went Australia, then it went Africa. Those were the first three.
Jeez, you really did watch it.
Oh,
I didn't watch it that religiously.
Because then I think Colby won. The guy named Cole. Like I remember a couple of the competitors that won. I believe there was a lady from Burlington that won, and there's a girl from Willsboro that won.
There was a girl from New York. Yeah,
Willsboro.
I don't know if she won, but she made it to like.
No, there.
You think she won?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was.
Hey, I'll defer to you
because you know what's actually funny. Survivor.
This is still. Have you ever just popped it on like recently? I mean, it's still on, dude. It is amazing how quickly. So you can fall. Oh, okay. I remember her. It's amazing how quickly you can literally pop this on and you get sucked right back into it.
But this was back when reality TV show was like legitimately reality TV,
brand new.
Brand new. It was like
with the exception of remember when we were kids, it was MTV's Real World.
Yeah,
you remember that. And then my sister
Real World, Road Rules, all those.
Road
things.
Rules was okay. Real World, I remember that. That was like the original.
Real World was like Jersey Shore before Jersey Shore,
right?
But
with more like fighting and craziness too.
Yeah, I mean some real nuts. But this, I didn't really watch that. I was too young when that was like at its peak. That was like I wasn't like watching MTV when
because you're the oldest, right?
Yeah. So like Real World was definitely on when I was in school, like when I was at that age, but I didn't watch it. It wasn't my thing.
See, my sister was 5 years older, so like
I
got like all that stuff when she was a teenager. Like Alanis Morissette is a big part of my childhood because of my sister.
Was it Jagged Little Pill?
Oh yeah.
So actually, a fun fact: Alanis Morissette sings, I think it's "Spoon" on "Before These Crowded Streets." Dave Matthews Band. She's the girl that sings in
seriously
"Spoon." Yeah. So sorry. Okay, I'm gonna skip this Survivor stuff. So this girl's from Willsboro. I remember her because she was in high school at the same time I was, and she was a really good athlete. I think she had a twin sister.
Yeah.
But she was a very good soccer player back then. And yeah, so let me see. Dave Matthews. So yeah, Spoon.
Wow.
So she's the girl that sings in the background on Spoon.
No shit.
Deep Cut. You were the one that also said that Spoon is played all the time on the DMV station. It is not. There's no way. There's no way.
Dude,
Spoon is a deep cut.
So it might not be the DMV station. It might be like one of the. So I have like 3 playlists that I listen to. Because Dave, to me, I listen to. I'm nowhere near you and Ryan. I'm not like. I would never consider myself like a big Dave fan.
Do you want to go to
his music?
You want to go to Dave at SPAC this year?
I will. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
absolutely.
I already got tickets, but I mean, you should get them.
So, Dave to me is awesome work music. Like if I'm doing like a house project, it's perfect work music.
This is what I was listening to today. One of the greatest albums ever.
That's a pretty
Live
good
at Luther.
album. So that was the first album I ever listened to as a kid. But so I always listen to Dave or like country music when I'm working. I don't know why.
Really?
It just seems like easy music to listen to.
Country music when I was working at the ice cream stand, was slinging ice cream as a child. Again, only 2 jobs in my like real jobs were
like
that in real
90s
estate.
Country?
Or
it was
early
like
2000.
George Strait country.
Oh,
Toby Keith.
We haven't
country?
talked in a while. I got to catch you up on some stuff. So this would have been like early 2004 to like 2011, whatever the country that was. So that you did get some. I mean, they played some like throwbacks. So you get like a little bit like George Strait. You get Brooks and Dunn.
Was getting pop.
It was getting more.
That was when Honky Tonk Badonkadonk came out.
It was getting on the verge of that. So like, but that was like when Zach Brown first came out.
Yeah.
That was when Billy Currington, is it Currington? Luke Bryan, Kenny Chesney was big then.
Kenny Chesney was huge. Toby Keith was huge.
Luke Bryan,
then.
Jason Aldean.
Later. 2004. It was.
Well, he was later. He was more like the end of that. Like
this
8
was
to 10.
like
Taylor Swift was in that.
Still huge.
Taylor Swift was in like the later stage of that
on the countryside. Yeah.
But that was like we listened to a ton of country. Then I met my wife and she hates country, so we don't listen to country anymore. So, which is fine because it wasn't like if you put country on right now, I'd
Fine
vibe
with
to
it.
it. I'd be
Yeah.
fine. It's not my like mine is jam bands. Like I like Dave. I've gotten really big into thanks to Jen Twiddle.
Yeah,
and
I heard-
Mahali.
yeah, you're
big into them. Now I've been listening to them a lot. This is actually the first time I've listened to Dave in a while because I've been just like repeating a bunch of their albums. And they play at the Strand like
You still, yeah, soon
in like a month.
You still, obviously, Dave's still your favorite though.
Yeah.
For jam bands.
Yeah,
Allman Brothers.
I like Allman Brothers. Yeah,
I love Allman Brothers.
I
That
grew-
Allman Brothers is my that they have my favorite song of all time is
Sweet
Melissa.
Dave also covers it at Piedmont
That's
Park.
and that cover is incredible. I'm sure we talked
Well,
about this before. That
Warren
cover
Haynes
is
plays with him
incredible
on the cover.
It's in
Or no. Greg Allman plays with
no,
him.
yeah, not
Yeah.
Greg on Warren Haynes plays on
Cortez.
which that song's awesome. Ryan doesn't like that song.
That song's overplayed.
That's overplayed.
That is, and it's not even my favorite song. It's that, and actually, it's probably my least favorite song on that concert album.
So I only know that song really well now is because it seemed like every time I would go up to, this is recent, every time I go up to the property to mow like the clearing, that song always comes on that playlist.
It's an overplayed. Whose original song is that?
I have no idea. I
'Cause
literally couldn't tell you.
It's not.
It's
Definitely
gotta
not
be
my
hit.
favorite.
It's gotta be.
I actually think. Oh, it's Neil Young. Yeah, Neil Young.
Okay.
It's definitely not my
Yeah, that's-
favorite song. Yeah.
It's a good song, but not if you hear it. Not if you hear it every time you turn your playlist
Also,
on.
not when you, because the thing is, when Dave covers songs, like Dave has some great. All Along the Watchtower, in my opinion, is the best version of All Along the Watchtower. Better,
Honestly, I'm fairly certain that I grew up with that version before I actually knew
who sang
Jimi
it?
Hendrix.
Jimmy's not even the original guy.
Who's the original guy?
Bob Dylan.
Oh, it's a Dylan song.
It's a Dylan song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So multiple people have covered it.
My musical prowess is taking a big hit today.
You know, your pride is just shot down. You know what song I heard the other day? I'm not going to remember it, but it's there's. Well, on a side note, Sheryl Crow sings a song by Cat Stevens that you think is a Sheryl Crow song, and it's a Cat Stevens song.
Huh.
I forgot which
So
song it is.
did you hear about this? This came up recently. So I was listening to this interview with Prince, and he was complaining about this, and this is why he doesn't do any. Well, doesn't he's dead. He didn't do any covers. Is the music business, and I'm going to probably butcher this, but anyone is allowed to cover anyone else's song without paying royalties for that song.
Really?
Because they're playing it themselves. It's some weird shared agreement in the music business that maybe it's not still the same, but there was an
Okay.
interview with like David Letterman from like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago where he was like pissing and moaning about it. It's like people shouldn't be allowed to. I mean, how many times have people covered Purple Rain though?
I don't like Prince music.
It's okay. I don't get the hype, but I think the hype is you had to be around.
I think he was
Prince
super
when
talented, but
when
it's
he
just
was
not
big.
my style.
His guitar playing is incredible.
Let me see. Was it royalties for covers?
Something about covers. He did this interview with I think it was Letterman.
Just pay royalties for covers.
Yeah,
Costs nothing to cover a song when singing it live.
Yeah. However, it will cost you if you do it on the album. Isn't that wild?
So
though?
I've always
I would have thought that you would be paying like out the ass to cover songs.
So this one again, just because we're on the so this is especially when Dave's never recorded All Along the Watchtower.
No, I mean it's recorded on his live albums though.
Yeah, I actually as soon as I said that, I was thinking like, well, it's on his live track, so
he's never done a studio recording of it.
Correct.
Though. Yeah, and
Correct.
it sounds like that's where you have to pay for it.
and maybe Dave doesn't care, but they've been playing that since like the early '90s.
What was it? What were the numbers that Dave hit last year touring? It was some stupid amount of money.
I think the band that had the highest grossing concert, and I looked at ticket sales, and when I was looking at them, they had the lowest per ticket, but they had a highest grossing, meaning the amount of people that physically saw them last year was Coldplay. And we went and saw them, and they're amazing.
How much did they make? How much did they revenue?
Um,
Because I heard the other day that Elton John revenued $330 million last year in concerts.
Coldplay 2022 tour
Concert revenue.
gross tour
There you
revenue.
go.
Perfect.
There you go. 19 million. 19.
No.
Is that
Hits 1 billion.
that's over 4 nights? They made 19.5 million over four nights. In
no.
Mexico City.
I think
19.5 million. They're, oh my!
I believe
God.
they were the highest ranking ported revenue 342 mil.
Okay. That's wild.
So actually, here we'll go down right through. So they play because they play a world tour. So I mean, they go all over. I mean, they hit mostly South America and they hit
So when are you touring, Galen?
North America.
Because it looks like they're averaging about like 5 mil a stop.
Which one?
Look at it. Like if you average all these, it's
19. Oh, that's 4 shows.
That's a huge, but look at, they're averaging like, I mean, that's over
10 shows and
that's but look at, that's a 10 show run.
Yeah, but again, South America.
Yeah, they're averaging like 5 mil a show though.
One show. So I saw them at
2 shows. Yeah.
I saw them at MetLife. So I was one of those shows.
Yeah. So that 6.5 mil a show.
So 68.
That's insane.
Europe. I want to see what they did at because they always end at Wembley. Yeah, 6 shows for 50 mil.
Yeah,
but you got to think like these numbers add up.
I couldn't fathom.
You know what that must be though?
This is why people tour. This is what
you know what that number might be per show. Like it's
no. That's their number per shows right there, and then that's their total revenue.
Tickets sold. Like average price 95 but I was looking at some of these other shows and they were insane.
1.5 million tickets sold for $146 million. Dude, you really can't understand how much money $146 million is in 1 year.
That's some live golf money right there. But it's insane. The other one that was high, see reports.
How much did Tom Segura make last year?
Yellowbird. No, you're right. Okay, I lied. You were right. Elton John beat him out by like 30 mil.
Okay, 370. So that whatever I saw must have been an old number.
So 370, World's Hottest Tour. Who the hell is that? Music of the Spheres. That's Coldplay.
Is that the Stones?
Bad Bunny. Oh, he's like a Latin guy.
Latin like hip hop, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything about him besides that.
Dude.
But he raked in.
My music knowledge stops at
how
about
has this guy got 300?
2012.
This is how I know I'm outdated in music. 314 mil, and I've never heard of the guy.
I've heard the name.
I've heard the
no
name.
idea who it is.
I think he's like a Latin guy.
I think you're right.
So, but like mathematics, this has to be some like.
This looks like what's the people that wear the marshmallows on their head? You know what I'm talking about?
Teletubbies.
Oh, it's Ed Sheeran. Never mind.
Is it?
You know what I'm talking about?
Is
know
it
what
Ed
those,
Sheeran?
Yeah, it said it at the bottom. Keep scrolling down.
Ed
Right there. Ed
See, I
Sheeran.
think I would go see Ed Sheeran. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind Ed Sheeran. I think
No,
he's
he's great. Yeah. Have you ever listened to him on Howard Stern? He does an awesome interview on
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. You know who else is like? This is kind of ridiculous. You know, I kind of watched some videos online. Jesus, why am I? Charlie Puth. You know that guy? You know he's the one that's saying. You know, remember when we're going all over the freaking map right now. You know, remember Fast and Furious, the guy that died. Remember the guy that died in Fast and Furious?
The actual
the actor, right?
Yes.
So
I forgot his name.
They
but
put
yes.
that movie out, and then they made that music video like "See You Again." This is gonna ring a bell for you.
Okay.
I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. I'm not singing on a freaking podcast because I can't sing to save my life.
Okay.
But he got his start on like YouTube, just putting together like crazy, like little mixes and recordings, and he still does this kind of stuff.
So this is how this guy got his like.
You'll recognize that song for sure. That "See You Again" song.
And what's his name?
Charlie Puth.
See You Again by Wiz.
Yes, so it's by him, but he sings on it, and I'm pretty sure that he
Featuring Charlie. What's his name?
yeah.
Puth.
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 I'm fairly certain that's how you
Puff.
pronounce
Puth.
it. I think it's
Puth.
But if you look at some of his videos online, it's pretty cool. Like he puts stuff together, but he's one of those guys that has like that perfect pitch where you can play a note and he knows exactly what the note. You can play like any sound.
Charlie Puth?
Yes.
Okay.
And he knows exactly what the sound is. Dude, he did this thing on it's either Kimmel or Fallon where he literally took a mug and he hit it with like a pen and then recorded it.
Okay.
And then he used like a mixer.
Oh, he's
on
a young
site.
kid.
Used a mixer on site. He's probably our age.
Oh yeah, 31. Yeah.
Used a mixer on site and turned it into like a beat.
He's actually born the exact same day as my sister, to the year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, dude, you should spend some time. I know you like YouTube. Spend some time, look him up. He's got a cool interview with. The reason I thought about it, he's got a cool interview with Howard Stern too, where he just covers a bunch of songs.
See, this is the thing. Like, I can already tell looking at the guy, he's probably not my style, so I probably want to watch it.
You'd be surprised.
Is he good? What kind of music is it?
It's
I don't know.
like-
I don't know if I can play music.
It's like pop-ish. It's. You would 100%
I would know some of these songs.
recognize that song though from Fast and the Furious, without a doubt.
I don't think I've ever seen a Fast and Furious movie.
They're
on what is it, movie 29 now or something?
I have no freaking clue. I stopped after 2.
Tokyo Drift wasn't
No,
that
I
one?
didn't watch that one. I think that, or maybe that was 2. Maybe it was. I don't know.
So this
first cut at the deepest.
That's the Cat Stevens song.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's Cat Stevens. That's not
Ever seen Sheryl Crow?
live.
Yeah.
I've never seen her live.
I've never seen so many men that are 50 years old with leather jackets on in my life.
At a Sheryl Crow concert.
At a Sheryl Crow concert, and it was wild. I went with a friend in college. One of my good friends growing up. We went down to SPAC to watch. It was John Mayer was opening for her, and he wasn't touring. He was hadn't toured in a while, and we had gone to a couple concerts of his already at that point.
So he was known at that time.
Oh no, he was huge already, and so we wanted to see him, and we were like, he's opening for Sheryl Crow. We're like, whatever. We had heard that at one of the other stops, he came back out and played with Sheryl Crow to finish out the night, like the whole encore. So we watched. He played an awesome opener. He played for like an hour and a half. It was basically like a headliner. And then Sheryl Crow came out, and we're like, whatever. Like, yeah, I'll soak up the sun with you, Cheryl, but I really don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but I mean, people are going crazy. But so we're sitting there, and we keep saying to each other, we should just go. Like, no, they said he's going to come out. We stay for the whole thing. She doesn't even do an encore. She just does like a straight concert set, no encore. And apparently, so we find out like a couple weeks after we watched the concert, he did do the encores with her previously in the tour. They got in a huge fight like a couple stops before SPAC, and he refused to do the encores. So we stayed there. We stayed down there. Had to drive back to Plattsburgh. We stayed down there till like freaking midnight waiting for John Mayer to come out, only to find out that he wasn't going to come out. And then we proceeded to pretty much pass out on the Northway on the way back and almost die in a car accident.
So when we saw Mayer, did he play an encore? I can't remember.
Yeah, he had to have. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he came back out. He played a pretty long one, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he played an encore. He came back out.
His set list that day was incredible.
It was so nice that was a warm-up set for the new album, because we got way more songs from the old albums that you probably wouldn't get normally in the tour. Have you gone back and listened to that?
I kind of want to check to see
that album again.
So first off, before I do that, his tour coming out is solo, which I think would be incredible.
Yeah, he's playing with the Dead though for that concert, right?
After, yes. His current tour right now is a solo tour.
Is it the Sob Rock tour still?
No.
It's a new tour?
Yeah, it's just his.
He put out a new
Boston on a Monday, Madison Square Garden on a Wednesday. JP, I don't know what that
I have
is.
no idea who that is.
What's the chances he plays I doubt it, like Montreal or something.
Probably unlikely. Once they go West Coast, they never come back.
Yeah.
Like everybody. Boston would be fun on a Monday. That's really
March
soon.
13th. I feel like that's,
March 13th.
Or Wednesday. You're a Boston guy, though.
Well,
John
I've
Mayer
lived there for 3 years, so I know the city well.
Albany set 2020, 2? Set list MVP.
Dude, that song Rosie is great.
Oh, you're right. Born and Raised in New Light. What are the encores? Those are both new or no?
That was the encores that we got?
Yeah, this is from our show.
I thought he came back out. I thought Gravity was part of the encore. I thought he came back out and played that.
So, no, wait, not Last Train Home. No, Stop This Train.
Last Train Home. So, have you listened to the Sob Rock album?
The new album I have. That's a good
Last
song.
Train Home is an awesome song.
Yeah, and it was good when we did it. Shot in the Dark. Okay. Shot in the Dark was new. I love Who Says. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And
Love on the Weekend was new from the old album. Like his before Sob Rock. It was one of the newer songs.
Stop This Train. The
that's a
Beautiful
good
Ones
song.
by Prince. Didn't know that was a Prince cover.
I didn't recognize the song.
And then he
Slow
goes-
Dancing in a Burning Room is one of
Look at
Debbie's favorites.
15, 16, 19, and 20. He basically played all of his top hits,
Yeah,
which I
when
doubt
he-
you would see that
dude.
ever again. I feel like he just went in and was like, I got to dust these ones off.
When he goes, I don't know if you guys will recognize this one. I haven't played it in a little while. And then he hits the riff, and then the whole place goes ape shit, and he just goes into, your body is what people went.
Oh, you're right. Dude,
Everybody in there over the age of probably 26 went. Remember that couple beside us? That young
Great.
couple?
They were fun.
Awesome.
They were
Totally cool.
fun.
If wasn't he like didn't they have to like drive like 3 hours
They had to
away
go
that
down
night?
they had to go south.
They had to go, yeah.
Like
we were,
New York, but they had to go south.
yeah,
We were going.
gonna hang out with them, and then they were like, yeah, we can't.
Oops, wrong.
Yeah, that concert was sick. That
But
was a
some
lot
of those
fun.
songs, so like that's the first time I've ever seen a Mayer concert. The set list for me was good for an artist that I know a handful of songs, but they weren't there. Like Gravity's great. I love Daughters. He didn't play Daughters.
Daughters is good. He didn't. I mean, he's got a huge lit. I mean, he's got
Why Georgia I think's great.
Why Georgia's good. He doesn't really play that
What's-
much. I remember my first
Neon.
concert.
Neon's incredible.
Neon's awesome. Neon is crazy.
Dun, dun, dun. That's a hard song.
Yeah,
to play.
Rye can play that.
Can he?
That's what he said.
Because I've seen people like try to learn Neon, and it's like a year to
I was
learn that
watching
song.
again. It sounds like I'm only on YouTube. I was watching a video of him playing it, and he does he kind of like shows you how to actually play. He's like, it's not like everybody tries to pick it. If you've ever played guitar before, so you're just like using your finger. Some people use a pick to do it, but you're just like plucking the strings as you play them. And he teaches like you this little like strum beat to it, so it almost sounds like you're picking it. But he's like, that's how you make the notes meld together a lot better.
So during COVID, I watched a lot of his like Instagram lives. Like he would go live and just sit there for like an hour in his house playing music and just talking about songs. Like, yeah, so we're going to do the pentatonic scale. And he's like, he's doing all this stuff and he's just talking about it. He goes, or you can do this. And the guy's knowledge is incredible of guitar, but it was entertaining because he's a funny guy. Like,
dude, that's got to be the coolest thing that came out of COVID is like all these artists were like, I thrive on people seeing my craft. And the only thing that they knew how to do was to like just give you a behind the scenes. Like COVID turned behind the scenes into like a regular occurrence now. You know what I mean? Like you see all this shit for people's lives now, but cool shit.
$890, nine rows back. I always play that game. You go in as close as you can.
Well, I may or may not when I went to Paul McCartney.
Drop some coin on
I
it?
may or may not have dropped some coin to be right about there at in Syracuse.
Did I tell you about the story when we went to get Coldplay front row? Like front row.
Holy shit, $2,000.
I mean row 3. Why not?
Why not?
No. So think of the
Does
belt.
that come with a concierge Marie?
It's really hard to get someone to go to Winnipeg in November.
How you say a good night?
So when we went up to Montreal for Coldplay, we saw him the night before, and they did a 2-night stand, and this was like 5 years ago, maybe. It was pre-kids, and we ended up like this next day. We spent the day. We're like, this is great. It's Gina's favorite band, so we don't have tickets for the next night. So we go walking by like the Bell Center like 2:00 on the next day. And I'm like, let's just go see.
With the intention of like you're leaving.
We were told the concert sold out.
Okay.
Because when we had we sat like right here for the like the stage, same side. This is the Bell Center. We were about right here. So about for people who can't see, we're about mid row or like lowest level off to the side. Great seats. So next night we're like, okay, whatever. Let's just go see if there's possibility there's some seats. We'll sit up in the nosebleeds, whatever. We show up. We go walking in. Now I'm like, we're waiting in line at the will call. We keep waiting, and I'm kind of like, this is stupid. Like, we should just go. Like, they probably don't, but I'm like, whatever, we're here. And I'm literally like 2 people away, and I'm like, they're gonna think I'm an idiot to ask for tickets. So I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, we'll just try it. So I go walking up, and I'm like, hey, do you have any seats available tonight? And I try to be very calm, cool, and collected.
Hey, we were just stopping by, just curious.
So they go, yes. So they go, hey, do you have any seats? And the guy's like, yeah, let me check. And at this point, I'm like, oh,
now I'm intrigued.
Sold out. So he's like typing on thing. He goes, well, the best. So are you what seats? I'm like, well, I guess what are the best ones you have? Because I'm thinking nosebleeds.
Right.
Like I'm
Everything
thinking
else
like
is sold.
like give me something maybe in the second level, whatever. He's like typing. He goes, well, the best I can do is the floor. So then this is me. I go. Now Gina's like shaking, like she's nervous. She's like, I'm like,
She's
and I was gonna say something different, but she was nervous. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, he goes floor. So I'm a straight face. I'm like, how far back? Like whatever. Like we're in Montreal. We're just there. I'm like, we're gonna go. It's just whatever.
What's the worst gonna happen? You can walk away.
Yeah. So he's like typing. He's like, row G. So I was like, oh,
I know my alphabet.
I know
That's
my
pretty
alphabet.
close.
I'm a G name. That's a seventh letter in the alphabet. So I was like, okay. I'm like, okay. So I said, how much? And I said, just like face value. And he goes, yeah. And he tells me the price. And then I'm like, that's Canadian, right? He goes, yeah. So I'm like, all right, we'll do it. So now Gina's like freaking out. She's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, screw it. We're up. Like, let's, it's on the floor. It's close to our bed. Let's just try it. So we go walking in to the floor at the Bell Center. I've never sat at the floor for any show in my life. We go walking in. They take us down like this column right here. So if people can't see, kind of like where the boards would be in hockey. You go walking down the side. Yep. We're walking up to the stage. All of a sudden we go up. And I'm like,
we're still going up.
Holy crap, we're close. Like it's you know where you're going. It's it's row G, 7 rows out. So
still.
They put us down seat 22 and 30. Or not 22 and 30. I want to make sense. 29 and 30. So they sit us like right here on the very edge, which I'm like, makes sense. Tickets open. We're all the way to the right.
Yep.
I happen to just like look down at my seat to make, because they're with the lights, go sit here. So I'm like, I want to make sure I'm like sitting in the right seat. I look, it's not 29 and 30. It's like 59 and 60 or something. Huh. Like I'm looking at, I'm like, hey, and I like caught the person. I'm like, we're 29, 30. These aren't our seats. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Sorry. So then they proceed to walk us down in front, walk us along the front of the stage, like literally the front of, like in front of row 1. Then there was like a catwalk thing that comes out to like a big centerpiece. So then they come walking around that side. So now we're on the
so
aisle.
there's like the little stage that comes out.
That goes like halfway out the stadium. So like a back centerpiece stage.
He can come out and like be in the middle.
And the band did a couple things out there.
Gotcha.
So now they walk us in front of the stage. Now they walk us on that catwalk.
On the catwalk?
Like on the
You're
catwalk.
not on the stage.
No,
you're not on the stage.
Not on the stage. But I'm saying like along the catwalk, like the barricade there. So then they turn and like, oh, these are your seats. So I look down, sure as shit, 29 and 30 are the 2 seats on the catwalk, not all the way to the right by the board.
So you're still 7 rows back, but you're right next to the catwalk.
Yes, now it gets better. So then, I'll show you all the photos too after. So then they go, she's like, well, here's your bracelets. And I'm like,
bracelets?
What do you need bracelets for? And she's like, oh, because you're the last 2 seats, you can actually stand up on the barricade for the entire show. So they give us these 2 seats for me and Gina. So we're sitting there. We're like, what the hell? So we have these bracelets on that basically say you can stand on the corner or right. on the barricade. Well, also the way that they make the stage, row 7, when like the catwalk comes where it would connect to the stage, like the stage is set.
So you're like in that inside corner.
We're in the inside corner, but the other seats are almost too close. So like the row 1 is like on the they can't even come out. So they're actually like their angle is like
they're almost shittier seats.
Seats because they're sitting on the front. They're sitting on the aisle, but they can't like where their barricade goes. It stops them like from where that is because the construction of it. Like
sure,
there's gaps in space. So like where we were, literally like row
you couldn't
6,
have
7,
better
8
seats basically.
Were the best seats. If you said, hey Jared, what seat would you want in this stadium? Pick any seat. You would probably pick our 2 seats.
Like knowing if you saw the layout of the concert.
If I did the same thing, I zoomed in and showed you every single seat. Like if I was here, I'd be like, okay, the best seat's probably like these 2 seats.
Yeah, right.
Well, there was a catwalk, so you'd be like probably that seat or that seat. Those were our seats.
Wow.
And like 3 hours before, what was it, 7, 8 o'clock? We were probably so like within 5 hours before the show, we had 0 tickets. We ended up getting the best seats in the show. It was incredible. It was the coolest thing ever. So then we ended up getting seats this past year at MetLife. It was just general admission.
Yeah.
We weren't as close. Like we didn't want to wait with all the people, but we were like maybe 15 rows back.
General admission, it comes down to you just gotta get there early, right?
And we were there early enough that we could have been on it, but it was also like, do I not want to go to the bathroom like for the next 2 hours kind of deal? Because we got there like as the opening acts were coming out.
Oh, because once you get up there, you got to stay there, or else someone.
Yes,
can come
general
up and-
admission. I mean, you could say like you stay here and like watch my seats. I'm gonna try to make my way through the crowd of people back, and I probably could have, but it was also I'm like I don't care. I'm on the floor. Like to me, you're
You're
there.
already down there. Yeah. What's the sense?
So, but that was really cool. That was the closest I've ever been. Minus like like a dispatch where it was like using the speaker as like a hold my beer.
Basically minus going over to higher ground, which every concert you go to, you're practically kissing their feet.
Yeah. So like the Twiddle shows, general admission,
Yeah,
which would be cool. So I'm sure Jen will probably be on the stage at some point.
Chris will be probably.
I would like to be like somewhere. So Chris. So I went with them to higher ground to see Mahali. So we're sitting there, and I'm gonna pick on Chris, but because his ears are way better than mine, he like won't be in the front row. He wants to be like where acoustically sounds the best.
Sure.
Because he knows all the audio stuff. So he's like, this spot is like Jen rips on him all the time
Designed
for.
to hit
But
you
he
perfect
understands music at like a higher, like his ear is better than
Well,
like
plus
mine.
at a concert level because he's done that stuff.
And he used to record shows and audio, and he's like, this is where you're gonna get the best sound, just the way everything's gonna like filter out music wise. Because it's just with the bouncing and stuff, it hits a certain point. Also, another Nard Dog episode. Remember, he's like in the audience when he did the Sweeney
yeah,
Todd.
when
He's
he
like,
does
you
the-
got to sit right here. And sorry, office nerd coming out. But so speaking of music, one of the shows we watched recently was the Shania Twain documentary.
Really?
It was actually good.
Don't impress me much.
So Shania, do you remember? I mean, you
Come
said
on.
country,
That was a
but you know what? So this
that's her
was.
song, dude.
I know.
Okay.
Know. The Come On Over album.
I was like, Jesus,
yeah,
that was a good little joke.
No, I know. You don't impress me. I know. It's like a dad joke coming out. But so Shania Twain, they had a whole backstory.
I did see
so
that.
She's
I think
from,
Debbie watched it. She said it was really good.
So she like grew up in like deep Ontario, like like North Ontario, like probably like a decent distance from us. Like she wasn't anywhere near Ottawa. She was like up and in like Ontario. So she was kind of backwoods. So she kind of came out and they had like her whole upbringing. She like sang like at local bars and things. Like her name's not even Shania. It's Eileen Regina. Great middle name.
Regina, you mean?
Regina. I know.
Gina.
Regina. Yeah. So Eileen Regina
Gina said that?
Shania Twain.
Dwight?
Huh? Oh.
Her name is Gina. Gina said that?
Asked her. So we watched it, but so when she came out, the reason I'm saying this because like with the music was when you talked about country like 90s, she was like
This was pinnacle.
she was the top of the food
It's
chain.
like her and Garth Brooks.
Well, then all of a sudden, like when I was listening to country, like I'm like, what happened to Shania Twain? I remember like late 90s, listened to her all the time,
She was
and then
dropped off.
well, she ended up getting like Lyme disease, and she'd stopped like touring for a long time, and then
No
she came
shit.
back after the fact. So now she's making music again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like she was at like the Grammys, and she did some stuff, and still looks pretty good. Like
she's like 60, isn't she?
57, yeah, Windsor, Canada.
I mean, shit.
But back like this time, like that Shania.
That's
Actually, that's more recent.
That's
new album.
present.
Yeah,
Shania.
never mind. Scratch that. Still looks amazing. But she had a
Have you gone back and have you ever seen? So speaking of Samsung, we used to. There's a music channel and on because Debbie's home with the kids, so she used to have that music channel on, and at like 2:00 most days the country station will go to like 90s throwback.
okay.
There is a music video. I forget what Shania Twain song it is, but it's like her going around this bar scene, and like all the guys don't know she's there, like kind of thing. Like I forget what the song is. I think it's
Also,
it might be "Don't Impress Me Much." No, I don't think so.
also,
No,
Shania
it's-
with bangs is not.
it's
I don't like
it's
bangs.
like original
I know
Shania. I think it's
they showed it in the episode.
what's the one with the boots? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Still the one.
No, that's later.
No, I know. I'm going.
This
whose
is like
boots-
this
yeah.
is-
Whose bed
who-
has your boots been on?
Whose bed is your boots?
Was it this one?
Yes, this is this. I'm almost certain this is the song.
I just want to make sure I'm not
So
busting out royalty fees here to
if
Shania. I think you're right.
if you watch this, you're like, oh, that's right. That's why I was absolutely in love with Shania Twain as a child.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's all like, don't they like slow it down and she kind of.
I forget. Yeah, like nobody knows she's there, but she's in this like skimpy little red dress the whole time.
I mean, she doesn't look bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
not
God bless Shania.
not terrible, right?
But yeah, so that she's so the Come On, was it Come On Over album? Is that her big one?
I honestly don't know.
It came out. Come On Over songs, yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah,
one.
that was the big one.
So this was like, I remember we drove down. I think it was
That was like
Tennessee
late
as a
90s?
kid, and we just had this on
yeah,
repeat.
96, 97. Yeah.
How about that name, Robert John Mutt Lang?
Some
Imagine
great
a nickname being Mutt.
Some great country names, man.
Yeah, all these songs. I think my Rock This Country. You got
That's
Honey, I'm Home. That was a great
yeah,
song.
Honey, I'm Home was a big one.
You're still the one.
Still the
God,
one,
Man, all
yep.
these. Don't Be Stupid. Love
Dude, she was. It's like it didn't matter what she did.
From This Moment.
I remember that song.
Do, do, do.
98. What would I have been? 12. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Higher Ground. What's that? Oh, that's never mind. I saw Higher Ground.
Is it a pop-up tab?
No, it was.
Oh, Twiddle.
There you go.
That's not from Higher Ground. That's their tour right now. Just a live stream.
Anyway, how the hell did we get on this?
Shania Twain was talking music, and then we talked about country, 90s country.
Yeah.
Everything comes in full circle. Like we talk about it, but it's no, because there was something else. I don't know if it was Honey, I'm Home. That don't impress me much. There was one song I really liked, but it was like later on in the album. It's okay.
Man, I feel like a woman.
At this point. That was was that the one was like something about Brad Pitt and something
everybody sings. Yeah. I don't remember.
Like if the song came on, I would know every word to it. I feel, but
I think you would know every word to every song that you put on for Shania Twain.
But so the album or the music video was great. But did you know she bought a house? She lived in the Adirondacks for a short period of time.
No.
So she ended up. I'll show it to you. She had her own lake, Shania Twain Adirondacks.
That was so. While you're looking that up, so that was one thing from our photography career.
Dexter Lake.
We saw some wild locations in the Adirondacks. There was this place in Owl's Head, New York, that we went up to, and it was owned by the former CEO of Outback Steakhouse.
Where was this?
This was in
Owl's Head?
Owl's Head. So Owl's Head is about halfway between Tupper Lake
like Tice Mountain area,
and Malone. And dude, this place was insane. You walked in I
Wait, is it that? Is that close to Malone?
I think it's halfway between Malone and
Really?
Tupper Lake. It's hard to find on a map.
Is it? Yeah, but I think Owl's Head is more like up near Titus, Lake Titus.
Maybe it's closer.
I feel like Owl's Head is like right up here.
Well, regardless, I'm
That's fine.
not
Yeah.
getting it right.
No, it's
but,
okay.
So he has a private lake on his property. I mean, it's not huge, but private lake on his property that had a pump house with a waterfall underneath it, like an old stone pump house.
Oh, it's right here.
That led to it's right around there somewhere.
That's where Indian Lake is. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so you come in and he's got a shooting range right when you come on the location, and then you go up and there's the groundskeeper's house, which is like a gorgeous cabin that like any of us would pay, $300,000 to have that in the Adirondacks. And then you go up this road, and up at the top of a hill, this massive hill that looks down over this, I think it's a man-made lake that they built the pump house on, is this huge, gorgeous 3-story home. When you go inside of it, so you walk inside this back door, and you go inside this, obviously, big, huge, great room. The staircase, there's this grand staircase that goes up to the left. Each stair is about 9 feet long, and it's half of a tree. Literally, if you cut
the flat part, I'm
like
assuming.
a 16-inch tree.
Yeah.
If you cut it in half, removed all the bark,
Was it live
and then
edge?
coated it. It was all the whole bottom part was the rounded part of the tree.
Oh, gotcha. So was it kind of like a floating stair?
It was no, so it had railings too. It was small tree branches.
But I mean, they were all like stacked like this.
Yeah,
like you could see through it.
You could see through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, they were secured. It wasn't like like the metal floating where it looks like they're just floating. But then when you walked in, every year he would go do safaris and hunt. So when you walked into the right, there was all this like wild African game that he had shipped in. So like right by the front entrance, there's this massive lion that like
that's
some
cool.
kind of lion just like all posed up. And then there's like, I don't know what they are, antelope or whatever in the background. And he's got all this game in there. Dude, it was wild. That was a really cool spot that we went to. The other spot that I think was probably cooler was we ended up doing a wedding for this couple who I don't know if it's the bride or the groom actually. They were descendants of the Rockefellers, and they had this property,
Great Lake or Great Cabin.
that doesn't even begin to describe it. They had this property in Paul Smith's that literally, I might have told you this before. So you're coming out of Paul Smith's, like heading west past the college, kind of like where like the cross country trails are, I think.
Yep.
And then so you go and you have to stop at this gate, and the gatekeeper has a house. The gatekeeper's house is like this old yellow Victorian that is 3 stories. I mean, this huge house. It's just the gatekeeper. And so you get past it. The gatekeeper lets you in, and then you literally drive 3 miles. They own all this property. You drive back 3 miles into the wilderness to get to this main area. Like we're driving back and there's like mountain ranges on the left. And she's like, yeah, we own all that. Like thousands upon thousands of acres. You get in and there's everybody like has their own house, but these houses are massive and they're well over like 100 and whatever years old, 130, 140 years old.
You weren't with us when he played Saranac Inn last year, right?
No.
So
2 years ago, right?
was it 2 years?
I
Yeah, you're right. No, it was 2 years
make it.
ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So, like right here, Saranac Inn. So this place right here is where Ann and Brady got married. And this thing is, like, there's a bunch of camps here, but this is like a whole compound.
Yeah.
And, like, this view right here looking out is incredible. I don't know what lake that is. Like, is it Upper Saranac?
Upper Saranac, yeah.
Like, I don't know the lakes that well when you get to the
I don't either.
Adirondacks.
We
but
got to talk to Adam about that.
I know. He'd be like, oh, you go down here, you take, like, little Island Chapel Road to this one.
I did a canoe carry over that from, yeah. No, he would know it for sure.
He's like, Goose Island? Oh, yeah.
Goes fine. Oh yeah,
Good
stayed
night.
over.
Good beer.
Had a couple shots of Jameson with somebody from Alaska up there. You know, the thing is, the plausibility of that story is about 100%.
Yeah, he'd be like, hey, yeah, Tommy's Rock. Do you know Tommy's Rock? Yeah, it's great. We swam out there.
Yeah,
We cooked our own food.
yeah. So there's this girl, and she was a chef at the local cottage, and I hooked up with her on Tommy's Rock that night. We stayed.
It was great. Had a whole brisket meal. It was on the George Foreman grill. It was amazing.
Adam's stories are amazing.
But like right there, the Colgate University camp. Like this is
Yeah. So like picture this, and like make it 10 times more secluded.
Do you know where it was,
And
though?
owned by one family. I honestly couldn't tell you. I'd have to go out and drive.
So,
I don't
like-
even think I could look on a map.
So this camp was built like late 1800s, early 1900s, and there was like signatures from, I think it was Rockefeller. Like they would come visit, and they so whoever lived there originally, they would like, sign the guest book.
This is not it at all because there's not a road even remotely in sight where that was.
So this one, let me see. Go back to Dexter. So I'll show you exactly where it is because it's a lake. So this we zoom out.
So this is Shania Twain.
Yeah, it's right here, St. Regis Falls,
Yeah,
Parrish
here.
Hill.
Hold on. There's Paul. Before you do that, go down to Paul Smith's. Zoom in there. Okay, and then come out.
Which direction? That way?
Come down on this Keys
Keys Mill.
Road.
Was that it? What about this back here?
No, that's public property. Let's see, it's a state park. Okay, what's this?
Junior
Actually,
Pond?
shit. Zoom in on this spot right here.
The little fork?
Yeah.
Oh, this road?
That? Bay Pond Road, though.
No, there's too many roads going off that.
No, come back down. Come back down. It might be this.
It's Adirondack Park Trail.
No, keep coming down. It might be this. Yeah. Yeah, keep. Shit.
I mean, it's all the same road going down.
Yeah, I don't know. These are public. Yeah, I don't know. Because
There's got to be 10,000 lakes in the Adirondacks.
there's not. Yeah, there's a shitload.
I mean,
well,
look how many of
ponds
these
and
little
stuff,
ones.
but
Little ponds, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to figure it out. I'd have to look up. I bet I have an address somewhere, and we could look it up. But dude, it was wild. It was insane. Like, I mean, they had like, it was literally like, did you ever go to like sleepaway camp as a kid?
No.
So like sleepaway camp where you have like, there's like the massive dorms where like there's a huge mess hall in it and the big cafeteria and everything. Like when you picture like those huge long buildings.
Yeah, it's like heavyweights. Camp Hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So picture that. So they literally had like that kind of building, but then every family had a house as big as like what you're picturing for like a sleepaway camp.
Yeah, just like a big family compound.
Massive.
That was in the Adirondacks?
In the Adirondacks. It was right near Paul Smith's. But yeah, no, it was wild.
So this is her house right here. This is Dexter, which I believe is a private pond. She owned the whole thing.
Sure.
This is their house.
That's wild.
So like this big long like house there. Oh, so you want to? Have you been to Naples before?
No.
So we went to. I mean, this is where we go. It's like our home away from home. So we ended up venturing out and like walked on the beach, where we got married, and it was great. So the homes in Naples
are wild,
unreal. Like it's and again, I'm sure there's some other places that are just as cool. But so I found out this is the most expensive home in Naples.
Because is Marco Island in Naples?
No, it's south.
South?
It's
okay.
Just south though. You'll see. It's right here.
That's Marco Island.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, like I've been down there a couple times, but this is actually a really cool beach.
So funny story about Marco Island. So, back in the 80s, Bob had a buddy who came to him. He goes, "Hey, I just got back from Florida, and I thought you might be interested. There's this new place that they're starting to develop property down in Florida, and you can pick up some parcels. There's not many properties on it yet, but I think it might be big." He's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if I'm in a position, but yeah, what's the place called?" He goes, "I guess they're gonna call it Marco Island. I think it's called Marco Island or something. But yeah, they're selling all these properties right now that you could develop."
When was this? Like
90s? No, like
80s?
83, 84. He's like, shit.
There's my retirement package.
Oh my God. Imagine if you picked up a couple. I mean, they were going for. He said, "I just didn't have enough money to rub together to do it." But anyway,
so we ended up. This is where we went, like with the kids and everything. Right here, we actually parked right here, went out here. So I found out.
Oh my God. Oh my! Just looking at these houses already.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is.
You can just tell.
Yeah, I mean, you walk right by them; they're all right there. So like we got married in front of a couple of them.
So Naples. So the beach is public, but there's houses that are right on the beach.
We got married.
So they don't have their own private beaches?
This is literally where we got married, right here.
That's pretty sweet. But none of these people that own they just own the property. They don't have any they have their own access, but they don't actually have
they all walk right down to the beach.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like when you went to Outer Banks. It's kind of the same style, just not as long of a walk.
Gotcha. Only are most of these houses these aren't Airbnb houses. These are like just wealthy people that own them, right?
It's insane. You know what I actually heard? Someone talked about a lot of them.
Look at that. You can just tell 76 right there. That house has got to be massive.
Yeah, well, I'll show you some street views. So
my
this
God,
one,
that place has got to be huge too.
So this one, I found out. Okay.
Oh wow.
So this one right here is the most expensive. I didn't realize this at the time. I looked it up after the fact. This house right here is really the most expensive house in Naples. It was $63 million.
2 pools.
Oh,
that you can see.
That you can see, and you're right on the water. What's actually cool is you can go through here, which I probably have been by it. I just didn't. We drove through that, so I drove by.
It's gated and it's got trees. So it's probably hard to see.
But look at some of these things. You start going down.
God, this is wild.
But you go see
these look like country clubs.
Oh, yeah. And some of these, there's one place they cut out, which we saw, we were walking by, they cut it out and was like rock. So it's almost all this ledge was underneath, and they cut it out to make it almost like a cave.
Part of the
So their
house.
Backyard is like a cave with a lazy pool.
Like a grotto and everything?
Oh, that's what it looked like. So when you come down through here, these places, they have these massive man-made courtyards. Look at this one.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So this is from the main road to the actual property.
And they probably dug that though for water
Look at this
protection too to prevent flooding and everything.
Look at this house. Built that. Let's put a whole pond here with an island.
That pool's covered too. That pool is probably square footage bigger than my house.
This one?
Yeah, it's all covered.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the size of that thing.
That's wild.
This is when
Stupid. Like this is more money than you could possibly.
And then you go down like here, like.
Oh my God!
So this one they're building. We actually think we drove by that one.
This is a house.
Yeah,
It looks like a hotel.
Oh no houses, man. This is bougie as all get out. So
this isn't even. There's no word for this yet. I don't think bougie scratches the surface.
So like, let me see. Yeah, so this is.
That's someone. That looks like the entrance to a hotel.
Yeah, I mean these things are. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay, we can go down the path. I think I'm going the wrong way. Well, here's one.
Yeah, these people are poor.
I know. Fun.
They don't have water. They don't have waterfront.
I mean, it's just insane. But so I'm just we're just talking this, and then you go in the canal areas. These things are.
And these houses are massive.
These
too.
are cheaper though because they're not on the ocean.
So you mean 9 million instead of 50 million?
That's what we're talking. I mean, this is so. Like I've gone down through here on a boat before. This is called Port Royal, which is just an insane. Like Larry Bird's got a house there. Bill Gates has a house down there. But like all these, they're just these insane homes. Oh, this is awesome. I didn't.
Oh my God, you have. Wow, this is wild that Google is allowed to go down these roads.
Well, in they're public roads. We actually drove down there. We got
I
lost.
I guess.
Turn around.
I'd be pissed. Like, get out of my neighborhood.
Like all these just
Jesus.
But then I mean, that's
like a brand new building too. That was probably built 10 years ago.
Well, this is the thing. So all these homes down here, they just take all these homes, they just tear them down
and build new ones.
So my sister got.
Holy shit.
So that was the highest sale. So my sister works for I don't want to give it away, but she works down there. She got a contract came across her desk, and she sent me just like the price on it. It was $25 million. I'm like, that's insane. You know what she says? Oh yeah,
nothing.
yeah, no, yeah, they're buying it, but that's the existing house. They're tearing it down. I had the second contract coming in for the build, which is $75 million. This was on the contract.
Who are these people?
I don't know. It's just another world. I mean, it is insane down there. It's a gorgeous place. I mean, it's like you'd be insane not to live there if you could. But
sure, yeah.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's.
Meanwhile, I've got a 250 square foot cabin.
To each their own, though. I mean, like now, granted, like some of those homes, like you look in, I'm like, these people. One, it's most likely not their main residence,
which is crazy.
Which is even crazier.
Think.
Yes, because you got like
a
$30 million
second, third, or fourth residence potentially.
I know what I also heard too, that some of them I think just do it for the to just roll cash in to cover cash.
1035 exchanges or something. Well,
1031s.
They don't need.
No, but it wouldn't even be that. But I think they use it as like whatever they might. Again, I don't know the tax law and all this, but I think they do something where they'll shelter their money by buying it, and then like I also heard that. There's a possibility some of this is washed through these properties too.
Well, of course it is.
But I mean, like, so people don't even live there. They just wash the money through.
There's no doubt in my mind that there's cartel money on those roads.
And I don't. I found out the richest person in Naples. He's worth like $11 billion. He lives in Naples,
and nobody knows who he is. Probably.
Well, he's one of the top 100 richest people in the world, which is crazy to think you're worth that much, and you're not even. You're in the top 100.
It's crazy to think that you're in Naples, Florida, when you could be in, Nice or Morocco.
Yeah, but this place is freaking nice though. So but it depends. Like when you go over to
look at all that future development that's about to happen.
Oh yeah, this every time I go down there,
shit.
You should see the amount of cranes there, just building condos up, and
it's just wild.
You know what's also funny too? So we're gonna go over here.
What's funny is the fact that all these people are gonna be underwater in 25 years.
Actually, look how close the Bahamas is to Florida.
Well, on Google.
I mean that'd be real life though. I mean that's.
Yeah, but is it? I mean, that's got to be what?
I mean, this right here. So this distance we drove
because from Miami to Key West is what?
So this distance right
5
here.
5 hours by car, or 6 hours?
Not sure, but this right here is an hour and a half.
Naples to Fort Lauderdale is only an hour and a half.
Yep, I did it 3 a.m. the other day. So
that's no shit.
So think about what this to that would be by car if you drove straight across.
Yeah,
an hour, 2 hours tops. So if you took a plane from here to here,
So it's 70
20
miles an
minutes?
hour. It's 100. So it's 100 miles.
20 minutes. I mean, so actually, perfect example. This to here, what do they say is 90 miles
Oh, okay.
from Key West to Cuba. Key West to Havana, you might be talking like 120 miles. It's less than here to Albany by
Oh
driving.
shit.
So you got to think the distance from Bahamas, like NASA's obviously the big one. I've never been to Bahamas.
Me neither.
But this one right here, again, sorry folks for people listening. We're looking at maps, so this is probably very irrelevant to all y'all. But this is, let me get my bearings here. We're up too far.
What are you looking for?
You're gonna appreciate this. So one of the most.
Jupiter, Florida.
Yep. Have you ever done
Tiger?
this? Have you ever done this?
No. There it is.
Jupiter Beach,
I've been to Jupiter Beach.
Jupiter Island. I don't know why all this blue's coming up. Oh, you know why?
It's because you got the map view.
Yeah, my bad.
Or the map view.
Also, did you see that
Street view.
they had this like member guest, pro guest tournament,
Medina, not Medina.
Seminole,
At Seminole. Yeah, I heard about this.
and the PGA tournament was like 20 minutes away, and the PGA tournament was like a joke compared to this Monday pro member, like.
Well, because everybody
Whatever.
at Seminole is a professional.
Yeah, but they said like the amount of like top people in the world that were playing here when the actual tournament was, I think, was like right down in this area.
How come they don't do tournaments at Seminole? How come it's
I
so?
don't know.
How come it's so
It's
like privately exclusive?
It's like what's the one? What's the famous one in Pine something? It's in Jersey. It's always like Golf Digest used to rank it the number one golf course in the
is
world.
Trump's course in New
Nope,
Jersey?
nope. It's like Pine Valley, maybe.
No idea.
Pine. Let me see. Pine something. New Jersey golf.
Private golf.
Pine Valley. Did
Pine
I say
Valley?
Pine? I said
Pine Hill?
Valley. No,
Or
I
Pine
it's
Valley?
Pine Valley. Yeah,
there
Pine
it
Valley.
is. Top
It's-
5. Number 5.
It's always.
It's always in the top 5.
I mean, for years it was number one. It's private club. Members can play only if invited and accompanied by a member, and it's like historically the number one club
They
in
actually
America.
have pictures of it. That's surprising.
I think they said that one day a year they allow like they have a tournament on
Is
there.
that Gary Player?
Could be doing push-ups. Like you know you have a good course. Like not even that. That first photo, you know you have a good course when that's what your photos look like. When you go to watch like a major or a PGA tournament or professional tournament, but like at a major status, this is what the course looks like.
Right.
It's you've never seen golf. You've never seen a golf course like that. Think of the nicest golf course you've ever been to, and then go watch like a U.S. Open on a course, and it's night and day.
Yeah.
It is like.
We got to go this year.
Well, the problem is the PGA this year is in Oak Hill, which
But
I went in 2003.
They
But
changed the PGA. Isn't it later in the year now?
no, it's in May. They changed it from August to May.
Oh, okay. So
Which
the other way around.
so this is what happened. So that is in Oak Hill, which is great.
Uh-huh.
Sunday of Oak Hill this year, or at least Sunday of the PGA Championship this year, is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, shit.
So she's born. It falls when I actually had tickets to go to Bethpage the year she was born. She ended up being born like just after midnight on Tuesday, and the final round was Sunday. So I could have made it work had I known that was actually going to happen, which I obviously didn't go. We sold our tickets off.
you can't. Yeah.
So, but
It's a 5
so
hour
now,
drive.
you know, so my daughter has, for at least until maybe she likes golf, I can never go to a PGA championship again.
Well, PGA Championship. But
PGA, but the U.S. Open is in L.A. this year.
yeah, not going to that.
So if you go down here,
What's in Connecticut? Isn't that not the Travelers? What is
I
it?
want to
The
go to that one. That's that one's
Hartford?
that one's
Isn't
a
that
really
like the
good.
Isn't that no? That used to be the warm up.
It's
for something,
the Travelers. It's always the day. It's always the week after the U.S. Open, but it is a very
but everybody,
stacked field.
But everybody plays
It's a
it.
very
right?
stacked field. And you know what I'm
should do
thinking
that.
this year is if that's one of the raised events on the PGA Tour. You know, they have like I think they took like a handful of them and turned them into like higher level
higher
ones.
purses or something.
So what they did, so the PGA Tour to
I know they
combat
changed
the
their
live
payouts this year to combat
massively.
Huge. Well, look at what the guy just won this past weekend. It was like it was a freaking Honda Classic.
It was over.
He won $1.4 million for the fucking Honda.
Yeah, but that's kind of
Classic.
normal. If you go back to the week prior when John Rahm won, because that was an elevated event, it was over $3 million
Yeah.
to the winner. So so I will say, Liv did play their cards to get the PGA to make some moves, but
That wasn't why Liv did it though. That's why the players are probably doing it for that reason.
Correct.
But the
correct.
Saudis didn't do it for that reason.
Yeah.
The Saudis aren't sitting here, oh, I wish I could get these golfers some more money.
No, but I do think there was I think the people benefiting the most from it is the PGA Tour, to be honest. I think if you just
Yeah, well, look at the publicity that it's giving the PGA Tour. Plus Tiger throwing fire out there.
Yeah, I mean, so let's go down, and you will find very quickly. You will know which one is Tiger Woods' house. It's right by Pickle Beach.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's Tiger's house. So the crazy thing is on this road, he's like obviously he owns this, but they're not even on the water.
Right.
They're across the road. So like you go across the road and like go down to like your boating house or whatever. And that's not even where he keeps his boat. Look where he keeps his boat.
Well, yeah,
Canal.
you wouldn't keep your boat on the ocean side. You keep it on the canal.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in general, like you, like
yeah,
there's
I
no,
see what you're saying.
like you don't walk out onto your beach.
He's
which
got to have a view of the beach from that house, though.
you would think up top
Yeah,
you would.
he has to.
But this is, yeah, that's it. A bunch of golf holes in the back, tennis court, lap pool.
Training center, probably.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, so that's another house. It's probably Justin Thomas's house. But if you go down here, like, whose house is this? Like, I'm assuming this is his property still.
And that house is probably massive by most scales.
Yeah, like this one. But I'm guessing.
Oh, even that one. Even that one is
Oh,
probably
yes.
a massive house. It just goes to show you how big Tiger's house is. Yeah, that's got to be a gigantic house.
It's got to be a guest house with a guest yacht, just in case. So, but I mean, this.
Oh, how the better half lives.
But isn't that crazy?
It's
like,
wild.
But I know that like for some reason I know
Lap
that's his
pool.
house. Yeah, but
So
yeah, insane.
how many times? So have you watched Full Swing yet?
Yeah, watch the whole thing.
Okay, I haven't watched the whole thing. Did Matt Fitzpatrick's episode make you almost cry when he won?
No,
You didn't like that episode?
not that I didn't like that episode.
Dude, they played music when like he was like
who was in that episode with Matt Fitzpatrick?
No, it wasn't DJ. Was it DJ? No.
What was it called? Full Swing, right?
Yeah. I forget, but they played like music. They played like tracks over
Is that your last one that you watched?
I watched Tony's my
Tony
last one.
Finau.
That one made me.
That was I was gonna say Tony Finau's was way worse than Matt Fitzpatrick.
I just get whenever they throw like
Dustin Johnson, no.
no, not the DJ part. The DJ part was just
No, but I'm saying
frustrating.
that episode like no, that was
They throw these tracks over the top of like him. It's his first PGA Tour win, and he wins in fashion, man.
his
and
shot
they're
on
like-
18 out of the bunker was
Sick.
yeah. He
And it's
played
just-
well.
But no, I think Tony's the last episode I watched. Tony's episode though was like, oh my god, because you can relate because you're a family guy. Let me ask you this though: the one thing that
Yeah, Tony was my favorite.
whenever you start getting a glimpse of like a professional golfer's life, the reality of the situation is no way, no how would this ever happen. Do you not immediately get, man, if I had done my life differently, I could have been one of these guys?
No.
You don't get that feeling?
No.
You don't get that feeling of like, had I done this at an earlier age, I could have done.
Not even
I
close.
could have been one of these guys.
No.
You don't even get it in the least.
No.
That like,
I live in
Things are
in
different.
reality, Jared, not in fantasy land. So this is my no, because this is the thing.
like if your dad was a PGA professional at a golf course and you were growing up around golf all the time, like I just think about
Okay,
that.
so to combat that, would I be a much better golfer right now? Yes. Would I be on the PGA Tour? No. That'd be like me saying, Galen, you played soccer your whole life. How come you're not Messi? It's the same concept. These guys are the like scratching the like from a sport level. If I played golf,
You don't get that, like, you don't get, so maybe I'm phrasing this wrong. You don't get, maybe not necessarily, oh, I could do this too. I know I could fucking do this. You don't get that, like, oh man, if I had just had the ability to just, someone had said, work hard and like push you to be a better golfer.
be the
at
Dustin Pedroia of golf
at a young age.
No, I this is what
You don't like think about that?
No, I don't. I honestly don't think
You played golf as a kid though.
I did.
I played it as a little kid and then stopped.
So if I had
So I have regrets from childhood. It's like that meme where it's like, have you seen that video where the guy's like, What's the one thing you regret in your life? It's like, I regret not playing high school golf because then I would have maybe gone to college and then I would have been so good at golf and I'd be beating all my friends and I could probably start a golf YouTube channel.
So that's actually true. So I think that would be more of my concept. So
we'd be so good at golf. If I had stuck to it as a kid, it would just be so much better.
So this is my thought. If I played golf at a young age, and I'm going to say I started at 10. If I played golf at 10 with lessons, so I'm going to go back to because I played a decent amount of golf, but if I played golf with lessons, meaning I had someone that knew what they were doing, because I'm still to this day learning stuff about golf that I didn't even know was part of the golf swing or part of the clubs or whatever. So if I had someone at an early age coach me and I played golf, so let's say I started young, I had a coach, I trained for golf, so I practiced and physically trained for golf. I played on a high school golf team. If all of that happened, I really think I would have played fairly high level college golf.
D1?
When I say fairly high level, I'm thinking D1, but I'm not thinking SEC, ACC, D1. I'm saying I probably would have played at a D1 college if I would have. Now, granted, I was nowhere near close to a D1 college, but I'm saying back then I got pretty good just completely on my own. Just figuring it out, reading golf. There was no YouTube for golf back then. It was flipping through Golf Digest magazine and looking at still photos. I mean, okay, his hands are here, and then you see the next photo. I'm how do you get from, you're not seeing a full swing.
Yep.
You guys aren't talking about it. So I learned.
Yeah, no coach.
I had no coach. I read golf magazines. I read Golf Digest. I would hit golf balls. I used clubs that were not probably fitted for me. All this stuff.
No way.
So I ended up. So I think I would have been able to play D1 golf.
Would you have gone to Q school if you'd played D1 golf and tried to make the tour?
If I consistently got better, because this is the thing with me, I'm not this most physically gifted athlete. I worked hard. I was always a hard worker.
Yeah, exactly the same.
So I got a lot out of my. I felt like I tapped into my potential more than other players did, but other players were better than me because their potential was much higher.
They went on, that was my childhood. It was everybody had more talent, but I worked harder than most people. So that's why I could play at the level that I played.
I could hang, and so
not in golf. That's not a golf reference for me.
But this is the other thing too. I stopped playing golf cold turkey when I was 21, I think, done.
Sure.
I think I played 5 times over 8 years. And
what'd you get down to? A 6?
I think my scoring average in high school was 76.
That's a
I would say if you had to go handicap wise, I was probably
and your best round ever was a 73, right?
Yeah. And but I had I had a handful in the mid 70s and stuff like that. I mean, this past year I had a couple rounds.
You had a 76 and a 77.
77.
7?
Yeah, I didn't break 75. But
that 76 was a sneaky 76 too. That was early morning.
It was easy.
It was
it was a stress-free 76.
If I hadn't won, I wasn't really paying attention. I knew you were playing well. If you at the end of the round was what do you think I shot? I would have been I don't know, 81, 82.
Yeah.
70s, and then you go, that was.
And the thing
76.
is with golf, 81 down to a 76 is a totally different round.
That is a massive difference.
It's 4 shots, but it's massively different.
Just me from 2 years ago shooting, barely being able to break 90.
Shooting 80 by yourself in the morning with no way around.
Oh, that was so great. That was the greatest.
I actually will say
played.
it's probably legit because you text me about it.
It was. I text everybody. I text people that live out west. I was so proud of myself. That was a bit of an outlier. Everything was just working, but. That going from shooting that one round, I think I shot an 82 or what is 81 or 82 with you that one morning.
You had a couple good ones this year.
That was, but it was just clean. The drives were working. Everything was just working. But to go from that, which was probably the best, I would say that was the best I've ever played. The 80 I shot on my home course was a product of 2 things. It was, I know I could literally walk that course with my eyes shut. I know that course so well. I know exactly what to hit from where. And this is harkening back to when I never played it. I played when I was 10 and 11 and 12. And then I left my public school to go to private school and stopped playing golf and didn't pick up golf again until I was 23. So, but I could still from those days as a 10, 12-year-old.
So that's me at North Country. Like this year I played North Country one round, like a legitimate scored round. It was a 77 this year.
Yeah, you played well that day.
But it's also a course that I know, like
It's
I know
amazing.
where to hit, I know where to leave the ball.
It's amazing because you're eliminating errors. Like for us, eliminating errors is almost better than scoring on holes.
But and the thing was because the course has changed a little bit since I played. They've added more trees, which is crazy to think about. But they've added some trees in strategic spots that kind of make things kind of a pain in the butt.
Well, considering the last time you played North Country consistently is the better part of about 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I was probably a senior in high school last time I really played there.
Yeah.
So, but you learn the course, but the thing is too, like when I was playing back then, my consistency of my clubs was way better because I just played all the time. So
Sure.
like, was my swing better, worse, whatever back then? I don't know. I'm a smarter player now, like without a doubt, and I understand. I feel like I have a better understanding of golf now than I did back then. But back then, I played so much that I could get away with not being smart about golf. Meaning, like what clubs to hit, how to hit them, how to play different shots. Because I can play. I got to practice them, but my knowledge of certain shots is better than it was back then.
Sure.
And like how to hit the certain clubs,
course management,
especially when
is
you
a
get to like
totally
wedging and
different
short game
thing, too. Yeah. Well, back then too, if you remember when you were a kid, I didn't really have this because I didn't really play at like those peak 16, 17, 18 years, but it was how do I hit the ball the farthest and get it as close to the green as possible. It was never like, hey, I mean, and this is so stupid, but it's never like, hey, like I really want to end up at 115 coming in on this hole. It was just like, oh, I'm 280 out. Yeah, I could try to do that. And then you end up at like 30 yards out and you freaking shank it.
So me and Rye talk about this all the time. Par 5, driver, 3-wood. Doesn't matter. It's driver 3-wood.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter in rough, center of the fairway, short, long. Like, your next shot is a 3-wood because you were driving it up as close to the green as possible. No, back then I could get away with hitting some shots, but like in my mind, I'm like, I do this all the time with clubs. Like, I mean, perfect example. I hit a 5-iron off of bluff point number 8.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to go for that green in 2 unless I can learn to hit my driver somehow 20 yards consistently further than I hit now, which most likely won't happen. So, but again, even if I was to hit a driver 20 yards further, I still have a 200-yard shot plus
with about a 30, not even like a 20-yard gap to hit between
tops, maybe 20 yards. Not only that is that if you don't hit it straight, your ball is not going to be high enough to go over those trees.
Correct.
And then you also have to go over water, bunkers on both sides with a severe slope from back to front.
The only good thing is if you're coming in hot to that green because of the slope, it's a decent backstop.
It is, but
your margin for error, honestly, of all the precarious shots at bluff, that's probably the hardest one to execute.
Yeah, and when you look at that, like even if you were to hit the green, you're banking on that you have to one putt to have that even be a payoff, because you can play it short.
Your margin of error is even worse.
But I mean, if you play it short, then you're trying to get up and down from 100 yards with the wedge, which is I think that's actually easier than trying to make a one putt on that green.
The odds are probably
pretty close.
If you're on the green a one putt, the odds are probably better. But
the only thing I could think of is if you blast it and hit it in the water for whatever reason, you take a drop. You're dropping 3, so you're hitting 4. You can get up and down and still save par.
Save par, yeah.
So it's not like the worst risk in the world, but it's also one that what the gain from the loss is not. To me, it's not there.
No.
And I just saw this thing the other day. They said that a scratch golfer compared to an 18 handicap is like 1 point something.
1 point. What was it?
Like 7 or something?
No, I think it was like 1.56 more birdies per round.
Yeah, so
versus an 18 handicap.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Birdies are hard to get on golf courses, like at that skill level.
Right.
You know, so like you're not a pro. You're not a pro getting birdies like 5. You know, when these guys you see on the PGA Tour, 7 birdies around,
3-4 holes aside.
Yeah, that's not and like I would say a good day for me when I'm playing golf consistently, I can typically birdie 1 hole in 18. That's what I used to like. I would average probably 1 birdie. Nowadays,
I think my best round was no birdies. It was just there. It was the only bogeys.
My best round ever, 5 birdies.
Holy
73. I had 6 bogeys and 5 birdies.
Yeah, I think I didn't have any birdies. I think it was all pars and just no doubles.
The cleanest round I ever had though wasn't even that round. I remember the cleanest round I ever had was I played at the back nine, like a dusk round, like ended like 8 o'clock at night, and probably in June, late night or late long days. And I remember, I think I probably hit every single green regulation on the back nine. I might have missed one, and it was like in the fringe, and I like got up and down.
Wow.
And I just remember the whole round. I was like, all right, I'm going to pull a driver, and this is going to split the fairway. Split the fairway. Next shot was going to be on the green. It was just something was on.
No thought, and like
There was
you can
no
just
thought.
you can just swing, and it goes where you think it's going to go.
There was no thought, and every time I just remember this. I've never had this feeling ever again. And I remember every time I just grabbed the club, I'm just going to hit it where I wanted to hit.
Right.
And I didn't think about it. It's just like, yeah, of course I'm going to hit this straight.
This is the
Or,
club.
of course I'm going to hit
That's
the
where
green.
it's going to end up.
That was the most in control, and I parred. I think I don't think I made a birdie. I think I just hit 9 pars in a row. So like I might have missed some putts, but it was like
wild.
But it was like, okay, you hit a 15-footer, or you're 15 feet from the cup, and like I missed the putt, but I tapped in for a par. So I'm saying it was the most stress-free, carefree 9 holes I ever played in my life, and I shot par. And I just remember there was almost nothing to it. The other one I had, at least for my game, it was the first time I played of the year. We played at the Barracks, and we played a 9-hole round with like a couple of my high school buddies. Steve-O was there too. And I pulled off first round of the year. And this is when I wasn't playing golf. Like I just happened to go out and play with the guys. 37. I shot a 37 my first round out, and I was like, pfft. And then of course, I think it might have been the only round I played all year. And this
37.
This is pre-kid, so this might have been like 7, 8 years ago. 6, 7, 8 years ago. Yeah, I just remember we went and played 9 holes, then we went to like out to eat. And I remember 37. Now Barracks is not a hard course, but like still at the time I had not swung a golf club in probably a year. Went out and shot 37. It was just weird. I was like, oh, something worked that day. So down in Naples, I played. I think I told you, played golf. I got two golf stories from Naples. First off, I go play, which is fun. I get paired. I'm playing as a single, getting paired with 3 people. The one guy I ended up riding with was also a single. The guy was in his 80s, played. So this is why golf's great. And I think I text you.
Yeah.
Played the whites with me. The guy's in his 80s. He beat me on the first 9.
And he played the whites?
And he played the whites. I was out driving him. I mean, I was just out clubbing him.
Sure, of course.
But also, so this was
was it old man golf, or was he good?
No, it wasn't even old man golf.
He was just good.
Yeah, this wasn't like a little slap runner down the course. Like, no, he could carry. He could hit shots still. He was in great shape, 80 years old. And so we were playing, and I get up. So I had gone to the range a couple times, like just when the kids were napping, went down, like it was like a few miles down the road, and just like a good range to hit at. So I was hitting with some clubs. The first day I had the rental clubs. I think I showed it to you. It was like for $3, they gave me like 6 clubs to hit. So then I end up getting my. And for people that don't play golf, people that play golf are going to understand this. People that don't play golf are going to think I'm just like making excuses. But get my clubs that my dad has down there. So the driver, 3-wood, 5-wood, whatever, I'm going and I'm like hitting well on the driving range there. They're stiff shaft, like ping stiff shaft clubs. They're decent clubs.
Yeah, not terrible.
No, and they're actually like you can actually hit them. And I'm like, these are fine. Wedges, not the best, but they're pretty standard wedges. There's nothing crazy about them. I can hit those fine. I'm chipping. I'm hitting shots like good. I pull out his irons. So I'm going to give you a bunch of. I think there's like 5 strikes on these irons. They're Callaway. Bring this up. Callaway. I think Edge or something. Let me see. I got to give you a photo on this, but I like the TV now.
This is pretty. Yeah, you definitely.
Because this
like
makes a
TV.
big difference. Because when I'm trying to edge irons, when you see set, that's not even good. Because then it's like a.
Oh yeah, I know these.
Let me see images.
Yeah, these were right after the big birthdays that I had.
Wait, I don't think that's what they look like. I think it was Edge, Callaway Edge. Let me see. I'm trying to find the exact look. As I'm telling the story, I'll probably come across it. I don't. Oh, no, they weren't like the Big Berthas. Maybe
Those were mine. Yeah, I had the Big Bertha cavity backs.
I feel like. Oh,
which in hindsight
actually
were terrible clubs.
No. OS. Now we're getting in. Now we're talking. So I think they looked like. Oh, these were it. Diablo Edges.
Oh, those are slick, dude.
No, they suck. So these were the clubs I had. So Now, for golf standpoint, I get these clubs.
And these were your dad's?
These are my dad's like old ones. So they're
Okay.
which again, at the end of the day, they're golf clubs. I'm playing in Florida. This is like a
complain,
bonus round. Correct. Don't complain. So so let's go back to the round. I shoot a 90 on a course I've never seen before. First time I've ever played it. Like I thought that was
Shot bogey golf.
pretty good for February with clubs that aren't. Now I'm
Not
going to
swinging
go
in 5 months.
Now I'm going to go back to the club situation. These clubs, now I'm just talking the irons now. All the other clubs, I'm going to say the irons into the hybrids because the 3 and 4 were the same. They were this set.
Okay.
So I go and I hit these irons. Number one, my dad's 6 foot. These aren't chopped down. I have like my clubs are a little bit shorter.
Yeah, what do you have, -1? -1.5?
A minus 0.5. But even when I
okay.
grip the club,
But you
it's
can
like,
tell.
yes. So we have that not going for me. They're regular shafted. Don't have that going for me.
Regular shaft irons?
Yeah.
So they're not stiff?
I honestly think they might be steel. No, they're not stiff. So they got the thick sole. They're game improvement irons.
Sure.
So I got the thick sole.
Which you hate.
Correct. I got another story about that. Thick sole. They are too long. They are not the right shaft length. Not even close.
Yeah.
He
More
has
whippy.
oversized grips on the club.
Oversized grips?
And again, folks, I think most people think I have huge hands. I don't. So my hands are like
people think you have huge hands.
I know, so, big golf club. So like I'm holding these they're too big in my hands. I don't know how I can make that sound better.
When you're
these clubs
when you're used to a carrot, it's like holding a banana.
They're more girthier than I remember on these clubs. So I'm holding these golf clubs, and so the grip is oversized. I use standard. So now we have the oversized grip. We have steel regular shaft, full size, game improvement, and to make matters worse, they're offset. So I have offset.
Down at where at the hosel?
So hosel, when you look down, like typically you look down normal club, shaft goes down and runs on the leading edge.
Yeah.
This goes like shaft, like you look down the shaft and like it goes
turns.
It turns
Yeah.
like this. So the leading edge is actually further back than like the shaft, so it's not in line. I don't know how that affects your clubs. I was hooking the crap out of these things. I get up first drive.
He had so much whip.
First drive. Now this is normal clubs. This is like 45 inches stiff driver. That by far one of the nicer clubs in the bag. I get up and I stripe this down the middle. I looked on the GPS. It was like 275.
Ooh, baby.
Striped down the middle. First live drive of the year. I was like, okay, feel good. Because this is like rushing straight out of the cart. Like straight out of the cart, down to the starter, onto the golf. Like not swinging the club that day. Down the middle. I think it's a par 5. So I'm like, okay, great. So I don't even know what I pulled my next. No, it was par 4. So the next one was par 5. Par 4, I take whatever club. I like chunk the living hell out of this ball, like 2 feet up. Long story short, I pull a double or a triple on the first. No, I didn't triple. I doubled, I think, the first hole from the center of the fairway, and I think I had like 140 yards in. I had a 9-iron, I think, in my hand.
Oh my god.
Number 2, I get up. I'm not going to do the whole course. Number 2, I get up.
Yeah. Listen to Galen's entire round. Really quick.
We won't do that to you. I stripe it down the middle again, same distance. I probably drove the ball better than I did all last year in a round. I hit the fairway. Like if you know when you can have a drive, and you're like a drive that's straight with good distance, you can typically, I would say if we have 3-4 of those around, we're like excited.
Sure.
Like a really good drive. I probably had 6 or 7. I hit a ton of fairways. I was in play almost all day. The only 2 times I had to drop golf balls, I had to take a drop. I blasted a drive and it went into some weeds that I didn't know was there. I had to take a drop. And then the other one was the same thing. So I had 2 of them that I just not knowing the course hit but I hit like decent shots. So everything came down these goddamn irons. I couldn't hit them. Wedges were fine. I would hit the green with wedges.
If you had your Mizunos, what would you have hit?
I think it would have been low 80s. I really do. First round out in a course I never saw before. Like my swing actually felt good, and I felt like my drives were good. I hit good woods. I birdied one of the holes. Trying to think what else. My short game was like okay for not really having like much of a short game.
Right, but you had decent wedges.
And I made like 1 putt all day outside 5 feet. So I'm just saying in general, like I just these clubs right here, these freaking Diablo Edge things. So like this is what I'm like talking about, like clubs that like fit your game.
Sure.
This was like one of the first times I played. I'm like, I completely shot terrible because of these clubs, because like the swing was the same, and the hard part is you don't want to start manipulating your swing.
No, because you're going to screw yourself for the whole season.
To like balance out this club that is like. So I was choking down on all the clubs because I couldn't swing the full club because I would bottom out. It was too long.
Close to the ground, yeah.
And it was like upright, and then you had like the whip going, so everything. I would play to the right and like have these like hit it like fairly solid. The other thing too was I couldn't.
You must have been hitting this stuff sky high.
Well, that's the other thing too. These clubs were going like I was ballooning irons.
Yeah.
It was, like, and the wedges actually went pretty high too.
Which is not your typical
I usually hit
ball
shorter.
flight. You're pretty.
So everything about it was weird. So I actually felt good about it, but that was.
The ball flight, you were probably like, ooh, this is kind of nice.
No, I hated the ball flight.
No?
The drive was good. I hate hitting the ball high like that.
Even with like 7, 8, 9?
Hate it. No, I want to have like a nice like. I want like one of those where like you see a chart, like it goes out like this and lands. I don't want this big tall like drop. Because I like to hit it and it lands and has some spin on like
Yeah.
like I don't want to hit something that's just low spin. That's why I got rid of the stealth irons.
Yeah.
They suck.
Did you actually end up getting rid of them?
No, I got to get rid of them. My
Didn't Stitt want them?
I got to talk to him.
Okay.
My 6 iron though.
You had those chopped down though, didn't you?
Half, which is why I don't think it would be good for stick. 'Cause
He's tall. He might be taller than me actually.
But so that the 6 iron, like the grommet, whatever, that little piece, that black piece that holds the hosel and the head together,
Sure, yeah.
is loose.
That's what happened with my Callaways.
So I'm wondering
Those
if,
all popped out.
what's the chance that I could? Those are on warranty. Is there any chance you think?
No, my guess is that you go down there and they're just going to give you the used trade-in price,
So
which would be a freaking ripoff.
I would like to sell them because what I was hoping for is like if I did get new irons.
Dude, I know they're game improvement, but I love my Mizunos.
Yeah, but even yours compared to the stealths were
They're way
night and day.
better. Well, I hit those exact. I was surprised that you ended up with them because I hit them and hated them. I'm sitting there like I am definitely a brand snob. Like once there's a brand that I like I have to have that brand like for whatever reason, and I'm like I'm getting tailor-made irons. Like maybe Callaway because I've had them, but my intention is to walk out of here with tailor-made irons. I did everything in my power to want to like those stealths. The players clubs I hit
your
better.
Club? Mizuno what?
Mizuno, the JPX hot metals. Yeah. So I loved
These,
I
right?
hit the players clubs. Yep. I hit the players clubs pretty well of the stealth, but the Mizunos, I was just like, we were going over all my stats and I was just getting more. I was getting more carry. I was getting better spin. I was getting better trajectory.
Your
Like
irons this
everything.
year were better than I've ever seen.
My irons were a lot better.
They
this
sounded
year.
better. They're crisper. They had better flight.
Well, I mean, I definitely, I mean, I 100%.
these
These irons made a huge difference.
No, which ones are them?
Yeah, it's
That one. Do you have the dark finish or do you have that light finish?
that's a good question. I honestly
feel like-
I
I
don't
feel
ever
like-
look at that part of the club.
I feel like you have.
I honestly don't know. I feel like I have a light finish. I don't think I have a dark
I
finish,
feel like this is it. So
but I love them. They're awesome.
the other thing,
Go from the top. Let me look at the top.
top down.
Top down. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's going to be very consistent. So Mizuno, I have the Mizuno irons. I love them. Like I don't think I would ever. So this was a thing. So
And I was fighting. I was like, Mizuno, I'm not getting that. And then little did I know, like as soon as I got, did you know about this whole like blue box club?
No, for Mizuno.
Yeah. Well, your Mizunos get shipped to you in a blue box. There's a whole like cult following
The big blue box.
Yeah, actually. There's a whole cult following online of people take pictures of the blue box. Like there's a whole like forum of Mizuno.
Like the unboxing.
Yeah. Like
Really?
grown ass men like taking pictures of their
would you not be
Mizuno
excited
stuff.
if you got a big blue box with
Dude.
golf clubs inside?
Dude, I was pretty freaking ecstatic.
Is it really called the big blue box?
It's like not the big blue box, but it's
That's it. Right?
No, Mizuno blue box. There's like a whole set of like videos, blue box like delivery maybe.
Oh, was that it?
So this is how they come. They come in this beautiful like blue Mizuno box.
Mizuno still to me is baseball.
So see, that's what it was to me.
Yeah.
right? So,
It was trippy when I first bought them, but I love them.
but apparently, like they're honestly one of the best.
So I had their wedges too, and their wedges are really nice.
See, I made the mistake of getting the wedges in the same line.
Oh,
Yeah, those are sick.
I don't even mind that they're blue. I mean, I probably would have.
Well, they make them. Those are custom, obviously.
you
they
can-
make them in satin or
I like
chrome.
I like the satin.
I
No,
mean,
not
that's
satin. I
my
like-
goal.
like
My
the dark.
goal is to play with these for a couple years and then hopefully trade up to the players clubs.
So the hard part when you go look at clubs, though, it's like irons. I feel like there's a million irons that you could pick from. So it's like trying to go down through. I mean,
That is a beautiful golf club.
muscle back. So I don't have the muscle back. I have a cavity back, I believe, right here. So that'd be similar to what I have now.
Oh my god, those are beautiful.
So
golf
like
clubs.
compare irons. So this is like thing. So the thing was last year I didn't. Oh wait. Oh, I got it. Why did they color code it? I can't see that crap. Top line.
I can. What
So
are you looking for?
I would want something down in this level. Top line. Zero
line.
offset. I do not want offset.
So the 221s are the bottom. That's the blue. And then you got the
So the
two. The
I-
221s are the ones that are most consistent.
Where's the 223s? Which one's this?
The 223s are the second line from the bottom, or the third line from the bottom. Sorry, it's the
Yeah.
really consistent one at 5.
This is probably where I'd be living.
Yeah, you just got rid of them. That unclicked them. Yeah, scroll down.
I want to see it.
Yeah, go to
Was it what did I say? 223s?
go scroll back up for a second.
Wait.
Yeah, 223s. Yeah, those are beautiful golf clubs.
Oh. Yeah.
What do they look like sitting over top of the ball? Oh wow!
They just look. That's like right there. I want that look right there. Shaft goes straight down. Like obviously it's a little wider there, but shaft goes right down through that.
So it looks like a freaking blade.
Oh, so this is similar to the one I have now. So Mizuno MP53. This is
Yeah, your clubs are pretty old though, right?
right here.
Those are
These are back in like 2011.
yeah.
There they are. The MP53s. Love them. So,
Yeah, the minute you put those back in your bag, you started shooting better again.
always night and day.
Oh, dude, when you were playing with those stealths and you had a bad, like I could tell you were gonna have a bad round because of
Frustrating.
the way you swung the club. It just was so choppy and like hurried, and it just. And then as soon as you switch back, your swing changed.
You know what's crazy too is when I went down, and again, I'm not blasting the person who did the fitting.
I got the better fitting of the two of us for sure.
Correct. I like my guy, but I don't think he was as knowledgeable. But
No, my guy was great. I got a lesson. I got like a 3-hour lesson.
yeah, you were in there forever. As I was passing out in the bay next door. But the no, but so the thing is when he got the because the shaft's like a huge part of the iron.
The huge part.
So I went in. I'm like, I like these shafts. Like, you like them, whatever. And I got
The ones that you already had.
I got a shaft story that I'll tell you off air. But this one though, so I was like, I want the same shafts as the one I have. I think they're pretty stock standard shafts. So like, yeah, these are it. I'm like, great. They ship them. I get them. I'm all excited. I like look down. I'm like, same brand, everything like that. I'm like, I don't think these are the same shafts. Because when you go through shafts, like there's so many different ones. Like they'll have the same.
It's overwhelming to me.
So it'd be like, so these were True Temper Dynamic Gold. So like True Temper Dynamic Gold, but then there's like True Temper Dynamic Gold option A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right, and then stiffness levels.
And then stiffness levels, and then so I get this club, and I'm like, God, but it's in my head. I'm like, I bought these other ones like over 10 years ago. I'm sure that like the graphic looks different, but it's the same club. So I started playing with them. Like they just feel different, and like nothing felt good about these clubs. So I ended up going online and like researching this shaft versus my other one. They're completely different shafts. They're not even the same company. They're not the same shaft. So that was also something I found out, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Because I'm like, screw this. I said I hate the look of them, and I said
You hated the look of them the minute you bought them.
I hated the look of them when I was sitting there hitting them. But the problem was this is what happened. In my head, I'm like, I don't like them. And I'm a confidence guy. Like, I want to look down. I like a traditional look. I want to see the club, and I want, like, the gimmicky. I don't like the big colorful golf heads and stuff like that. I want it simple. I remember looking down and I was like, I don't like the look of them. I like the look of the Mizuno. I was hitting both of them, and I was hitting the TaylorMade way more consistently, and the numbers were better.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, makes sense. Like, better club. Like, and I kept saying, like, I just don't like the look. But if it's kind of like a mental thing, I'll get over it. Because I'm sure, and again, I was like, when I bought these clubs 10 years ago, they probably look weird to me at the time too.
Right.
But I'm just so used to them now. So doing that whole thing, I ended up getting the clubs, even though I didn't like the look. But the numbers were better, and I was hitting them better. And he also made a good point. He's like, so how much do you play? And I was like, well, I got kids. I don't play that often. I really don't practice because like if I play, it's like early in the morning.
Right.
Gave him the whole rundown. He's like, well, if you're not really practicing and getting better and just kind of playing, like, why don't you just like have fun and get like the club that's gonna, be
more forgiving,
hit a little bit, maybe a little bit further. But I wasn't really big.
You
on
didn't get
distance.
the distance that they wanted you to get. You said you only got like 5 or 6 yards.
Marginal.
And dude, I was getting you
Yeah,
knew my clubs.
mine
I
was
was
marginal
like
difference.
14, 15
And,
yards.
well, the thing is, the distance comes on those clubs because they're strong. They're just lofted stronger.
Well, that's not even it though. It's just I think I went from a regular shaft to an. He goes, your club head speed is a lot faster than you think. And I was like, no, got a pretty slow swing. He goes, no, you need an extra stiff shaft.
So under driver or your irons?
Everything.
I'm curious to see.
Maybe not drive. No, my driver's just a stiff shaft, I think.
So
but everything else is extra stiff.
So everybody I've talked to about the driver, they say it's pretty consistent. If you have mine's a 65 gram stiff shaft, it's that's something that's not that big of a deal because kind of I did this research on like the kick point and all that stuff. It's fine. When you go into the shaft though, I still have a stiff shaft. I don't have an extra stiff shaft. I don't know how I hit the ball a decent distance.
Yeah.
For golf, like I'm not short. I wouldn't, but I'm not.
You're not long.
I'm not long.
Yeah.
Like you
Although we had that one day where you and I were going really long at the barracks.
But if you were to say like, what do you hit your 7-iron? Like for me, hitting the 7-iron like 170, low 170s, like I'm okay with that distance. For me, for a 7-iron.
Yeah,
my 5-iron goes about 200 yards for me.
I get screwy when I get below 7-iron. Is where it starts to get a little screwy. It's like it's pitching wedge 9, 8, 7 that is really consistent, and then below that the ranges actually get really shrink
6,
down.
5, and 4, 3.
6, 5. I don't hit. I don't play a 4
when you
anymore.
say below that, I know what you
I'm
mean,
sorry,
like lower numbers, but I'm always think upper because you hit it farther.
But yeah, no, once I get below a 7-iron, the consistency and that's my game because I'm not that great. My consistency starts to go. So like a 5-iron one day would maybe really great, but a 6-iron in my hand, I'm more likely to hit it more pure. And so sometimes my 6-iron will go further than my 5-iron. And that's just consistency with the longer clubs.
I start getting screwy with distances being more consistent from the hybrid up. So because 5-iron is the highest iron I carry. Mm-hmm. So my 5-iron is a pretty stock club. Like I know I'm going to hit about 200 yards. Like I play for that. I make maybe 190, 95 depending on, a couple weather factors, but typically stock I can hit 200. Hybrid, my driving iron, my 3-wood and my 5-wood, my driver, I know what I can get those to if I hit them the way I want to, but they're not consistent. Like my driver consistently should be 275. My driver can go anywhere from 240 to 275.
Yeah.
With just off center hits and slice or whatever. Sure. But it's all the same with 3-wood. Like I can, bash a 3-wood that's kind of, like those low cut, you don't hit it perfectly and it's running out to 230, or I can pure it and hit it 255.
That's like my 5-wood. I can freaking hit that thing real far.
Out of all the clubs you put in the bag last year, your 5-iron, even though you didn't hit it as much as like the irons, to me was your biggest distance, or you're not distance, your biggest, like your MVP club. If I had to give you one club for the shots you pulled off with it last year, because you drove a lot of times with that too.
I drove a lot. I was having issues with the driver, so I could take that and felt a lot more confident. I came off of playing a 3-wood that I hated, and the minute I got it in my hands, I was like, "There's a very low probability this is going to do what I want it to do." Switching to that 5-wood, and it was just a mental thing. I just switched to 5-wood just purely because I felt it was a little bit more manageable club.
What was your 3-wood before?
It was a TaylorMade arrow burner.
It was white though, wasn't it?
Yep. It was terrible. I hated it.
The arrow burner. Yeah, because you've never been a 3-wood guy. You never hit it a lot.
No, and that's the thing is like I went years without anything in my bag. Like I literally went driver 4-iron, and I had a massive that's it right there. I had a massive gap in my bag.
That was it right there?
That was it. Yep, that was 100% it. I still have it in the basement.
It had that
in the
graphic on it?
Yep.
No way.
Yep. You
30
never
bucks,
saw it.
man.
You never saw it because I never took the cover off it.
That's
Freaking hated that thing.
well, so like 3-woods are. I've learned more and more about 3-woods that they're a very kind of because you want to drive with them and you also want to hit like decent shots. So this is mine.
Yeah.
Which
I've hit your 3-wood. I like it.
I love it. Like this is, and the thing is too, like looking down on
Looking
it, like
over
I
the
like
top
the
of
look
it.
of that.
Look at compare that to the all white. It
Yeah.
was terrible. Next to a golf ball. Like look at my 5-wood. Look at my my sim.
I love that
Yeah.
setup.
Well, look at my sim 5-wood.
Well, the sim actually was a nice line. I don't care for the sim driver look, but I do like the sim 5-wood look, or I like the 5-wood, but the wood look. No, you know when you hit decline offer, and it's like, yes, I want to pay full shipping. Like those stupid things make you feel like an idiot.
Yes.
That looks great.
See, it looks so nice. And my driver's got my sim 2 driver is almost exactly the same.
Like,
So I've got really nice consistency when I'm looking at it over the ball.
so I love TaylorMade stuff. So this is going back. My first ever junior set of clubs was a TaylorMade. I still have the clubs. I'm going to give them to. Actually, I was going to give them to Crew, but he's lefty. It was a TaylorMade burner children's set. Five clubs. So this is the one I had when I first started. My first set of my first driver was TaylorMade. My first 3-wood was TaylorMade. My first irons were all
wow,
TaylorMade.
that's awesome.
The only time I've deviated from TaylorMade was when I bought the Mizunos and Mizuno wedges, and then I ended up getting the Cleveland driver and 3-wood, which was probably the worst decision I've ever made in my life. And then I went back to TaylorMade. Like I've been a TaylorMade guy. Where I'm going with this though is I love TaylorMade, but the stuff they do with pros, the sponsorship with the pros, has gotten to the point where like they have a great guys that play TaylorMade. It's a great lineup of guys that play TaylorMade. How much they like try to promote the TaylorMade clubs to me,
Sure.
is like it's like over the top. My favorite one though, did you see the Tiger Woods one talking about the new sim?
Maybe. The
So
new
he's-
Stealth driver?
The Stealth.
Yeah.
Stealth 2.
Yeah.
So he's talking about it, and they have him. He's just like, it looks like he just came out of the gym. He's got the club. He's like sitting there, and I don't even think he swings the club. I think he's just talking about it. And he kind of says in it, and I forgot the wording that he used, but basically it's basically the same as the sim, but it's better. Like he did, and
like
you know,
he's
and
he's
you know,
like, but yeah, I'm pushing this.
so
it's
he's
better.
plugging this club. Well, guess what Tiger plays right now? The Sim 1. He doesn't play.
He went back to the sim?
He's never put. The
I
sim.
saw him playing with the Stealth.
Or no, sorry, not the Sim. He plays with the Stealth.
Stealth
1.
1, not the Stealth 2.
But
right,
but now they're promoting Stealth 2,
Right.
Which is like $600.
Yeah, they added that weight like they did to the Sim 2
crown?
Max in the back.
This is
that
what
weight,
they do. They make the club, make it the same, and then
And
add
they-
like something
they add
different, and then
something.
like watching a couple years
or
they'll
they
grab this and
or they
throw it in.
or they reshape it and like extend it out.
It's just, like, and the thing is with golf clubs, what I've learned, like if you get golf clubs from 10, 15 years ago, yeah, the new stuff's gonna be better, just better. But when you really look at the difference from year to year, like when I bought my most recent driver, I bought like 2-year prior model to
Right.
the one they had out because I was like, this doesn't make it, why am I going to spend extra $200 on a club that's not going to make a difference? I'm not like, we have our skill level.
We're not good enough for you to feel. I will admit one thing though, to deviate when it, like I will say I'm not good enough to really feel a difference. One thing that I noticed last year, which I never thought I'd get to this point, is being able to feel the difference in a golf ball. I hit,
Yeah.
so like I play those Callaway Super Softs, which they're not great golf balls. They're like middle of the road, but they're nice. I played a noodle on 16. I hit a noodle
You
on
want me to edit that part out of the...
I hit
What's
a-
better? What's worse, a noodle or the raw?
I don't know. The Schlesinger Raw. What about a Top Flight XL?
That was my...
That was the golf ball.
That was
back
my
then.
golf ball back then.
Back in the
I have so many of those in my
back in the
garage
late
right
'90s. They were a decent golf ball. I hit a noodle, and literally the minute I hit it, it was my buddy that lives on the street that I was playing with on Sundays. I turned around. I go, I don't even know where that's going to go. It legitimately felt like I just picked up a rock and hit it with my golf club. And it dawned on me, I was like, that's what people are saying when they're saying I can feel the difference. Like you can literally, the strike is completely different.
So when you go to a golf tournament and they give you ultras, that you might
aren't those decent?
No, you might as well. So fun fact, the best round I ever shot in my life, the 73rd, was with an ultra. But this was like old school ultra and it wasn't as bad. So you get these ultras and you put them down and you're like, this thing, I might as well just go grab a rock out of the woods and throw it down.
It hurts.
It just, even if you hit it pure, it just feels not great.
It feels like you hit a perfectly cylindrical rock.
But that's when you get like a Pro V1, a Snell, the TP5s, like you get those the balls and
Chrome
the Chrome Softs, like you get. I would even go like a next level up, like the Chrome Soft X.
Oh, really? Because the Chrome Soft, I noticed a difference, and I was just like, I don't want to lose a $55
ball of choice this year. The Kirkland.
Yeah, you got those, right?
Did I tell you about that? I thought you could only get them at Costco. You can order them online.
Oh, really?
I bought 4 dozen.
Kirkland's the old TP5 designer.
No clue.
TP5.
Kirkland.
That's what TaylorMade.
It's Costco's like name brand.
Sure, yeah.
But Kirkland signature
has that guy that does the where he cuts a bunch of them apart to show their consistency. Has he reviewed those?
I don't know, but this is I played this a bunch last year. I found them.
So I heard, maybe it was from you. I heard from somebody, maybe it was Steve-O, said that the Kirkland's it's a really nice ball to strike, but it deteriorates a lot faster.
Well, these kind of golf balls will. The core is not as strong, so
you can't play many rounds.
Like you can play a Pro V1, and by the time you're done the round, even if you don't lose the ball, it's going to be chipped up. Because soft, it's just a soft core or a soft cover.
Yeah.
So this one though, for the price you can get them at, like I played this last year and I loved it. The spin was great. The ball took off nice. My favorite are the Snell. So so Snell golf.
How do you feel about those Vice Pros? Those Vice Pros were pretty nice.
I don't mind. You know what's a holdup for me on the Vice is the graphic.
The Vice graphic. It's not much different than the Snell graphic.
Yeah, but I like traditional, like just the name.
Yeah.
So like
Vice doesn't have they just have the Vice on the Pros, right? It's just it's just the name.
Yeah, but they got like a weird like hoopy like that. Like this is
the E.
That whole thing just looks too busy to me. And this is weird. Like I'm such an eye guy that looks like someone stamped it or put a graphic on it.
I see what you're saying.
It's
like a logo.
It does not make any difference. It's not going to travel or do anything different. If I find a Vice Pro, whatever, I will put it in the bag because I know it's a good golf ball.
Yeah, we played them for FTK. They were pretty nice. They weren't bad.
I never actually played. I didn't even get one.
Oh,
the Vice.
We played the. No, that's right. We didn't play them. I played. It came in and I played one. Because the.
I mean, I have played them, but
was it you? Were you the only one that didn't get them? Somebody,
I think
2 or 3 of us didn't get them.
Few of us gave them away just to the players
because we didn't have enough because of the way they came in for the tournament.
Yeah,
I bought the level down. I have the whole thing ready for this year, so we don't have to buy balls this year. Although we're gonna get a sponsor for the balls, I think, so I might scrap them anyway.
Who would be a good sponsor
for golf balls?
For golf balls,
Lorman's.
What's the chance?
But Tom would never sponsor that, I don't think.
What would be the chances that we reach out to like
something legit,
like Manscaped, and had them sponsor the balls?
Oh my god! I mean, it's worth an email.
So this is where I've gotten to with that tournament. I think we legitimately could reach out to like
Barstool,
not Barstool. No, screw that. But I think we could legitimately reach out to like some golf sponsor things and get some stuff for the event.
Sure.
Whether it be signage, whether it be just like things that you could put on the golf course that would be kind of cool.
Could you imagine like long black, like tailor-made, tailor-made tarp, like signs, like all over the golf course though, and it literally freaking tailor-made.
You
or
probably
like
could.
Titleist or something. But like, hey, we just want we don't want your money. We just want you to send us signs
I think
to
like
make our tournament look
but I was
more legit.
I was thinking like whether it be like a live scoring thing or something where because there's companies that do that. They'll do it for publicity, and then as long as I don't know, like I'm just like off the cuff here, but like going through the idea like, hey, we're gonna give us something and we're gonna promote it like just on social and everything else. So you're gonna get a bunch of exposure from this. Obviously, it's not like a massive.
I wonder if the Grant would sponsor it.
Possible, yeah. I think there's legitimately options because of the way the tournament's functioned as or run
Right.
as. So I think it's not like you and I just reaching out. It's like it's a fundraising tournament. It's not like we're making money on this thing. It's like
No.
money's going to charities. So it's like if we couple that with everything else and like, okay, check us out on social media, check us out on like the past stuff, and like this actually is a pretty legitimate local tournament.
Well, especially if we add the some sort of tournament,
2-day.
the 2-day event, add some sort of invitational the day before.
I can't wait till we get like John Daly headlining the music concert
God.
Friday night.
I hit it hard, man.
Wanted it knock it off. But I think legitimately one year you could get like an evening musical thing on like Friday night. How cool would that be?
That'd be sick. Honestly, I think there were a lot of things that were really cool this year that were wow factors. I mean, the T-box signs obviously were sick, and it's only a matter of time before more tournaments start copying that. But I think to me, one of the coolest things that we did was Billy Jones' first tee.
It was great.
I thought that was like and honestly, I didn't even know that was happening until like I think the day before.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
You guys, I don't remember that conversation at all. You guys must have just reached out, or Meg reached out, or somebody reached out.
We had discussed it because I think we added it from the year prior. Like, let's have a first tee.
So I didn't remember that at all. And then like I think we were talking about it the day before. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. It was so cool to have a ceremonial tee shot.
And I will give. Actually, Billy Jones. I was like, wait, Billy Jones. I'm like, Bill Jones.
We got to give Billy Jones a shit ton of credit for coming out and doing that too.
Does it early in the morning.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know,
like 7:45 ish is probably.
I'm
when
going
we
to
did
take a
that.
stab and say Billy doesn't play a lot of golf. So
He's for not playing a lot of golf, he really striped it. But
I would think about this.
I'm willing to bet that Billy picks up a golf club once or twice a year at most.
Correct. But how many, and I'm just taking golfers in general, how many people would have stood up in front of 30 plus people,
Plus
all
cameras.
eyes on you, in cameras, knowing this is going out in the public, and just take a golf swing? Not many people. I think people would be intimidated, and
It was
Billy
awesome.
did great.
It was awesome. So
And if he would come back, I would have him do it again, without doubt.
I'm willing to bet that he'll come back. Regardless, the ceremonial tee shot was, to me, one of the coolest things that we did. I think the tee box signs was probably number 2.
Did this company just copy us? That almost looks exactly like we had it. Oh, the Tavistock Cup. That's a legit tournament.
Yeah, so I've got so many ideas for this year for better signage.
This
and
is what I
everything.
want, like on the first.
Yep, that's kind of a weird version.
Well, I don't
but-
like the angle. But
yeah, so I've got that. I'll kind of draw you like a little bit. So that Tyson one right there with the Walmart. So a little bit like that. Like click that Walmart one right below it. So I want to do that this year too. Is add standalone signs and have it say FTK across the top, and then get a sponsor for each of those. So then we can add 18 more sponsors.
But would that be different? Because you already have a T-box sponsor.
Yeah, but so you're gonna have this massive tee box, and then you're gonna have these signs as well. We'll talk about it, but
Yeah,
dude, I've got some stuff written down. Like the amount of fundraising opportunities that we're gonna have this year. Like the other thing too is I want to do a backstop behind some of the greens. I mean, ideally, like that picture right below there, I would love like for tee boxes to
This?
look like that.
this or this.
Well, I'm just saying that like the tee box is surrounded by signage.
I would like to see the first and 10th look like that,
Yeah, we should, without a doubt, we should do that.
and then
this year.
possibly the 18th.
The other thing that we're gonna do
9 was a little tricky because the way they have but 9 will be back to normal this year.
the other thing we're gonna do this year too is Jesus, I just blanked out on it. Each sign is gonna have a sign on the back, whether it's an FTK or it's the same.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
duplicate each whole sign so that we have that. But no, it's gonna be awesome.
Like I think this would be eventually this would be cool to have.
Because here's the other So here's the other thing. So I want to do something similar to that this year. So I'll show you my thoughts. So the cool thing.
Get a Rolex clock. Just
Look at that Detroit sign, dude. Imagine FTK like that.
What's I'm saying? Like, how many of these signs, like, if you custom, they'd be like, listen, like, we're donating this.
That probably not. That's
That's
$1,000.
thousands, but
But to me though is if we do this way. So my thought process is hopefully whether it'll work out or not is Andy lets me go up on a Wednesday and set Wednesday or Thursday and I set up. So then as a sponsor, you can say, okay, your T-Box sign is going to be set up for league night on Wednesday, all day play on Thursday, a invitational golf tournament on Friday, and the actual FTK tournament on Saturday. Or maybe it's Thursday, but I mean, I need time to set them up.
what?
Oh, this is the place that we got the quote from before. It was like $2,600.
Imagine just like putting this in like the pond on hole 1.
You wouldn't see it. It's all overgrown.
No, they cut it down.
Oh, they did?
I believe so.
It'd be sick to have that.
The thing is, we don't have like North Country doesn't have like a true big water hole.
No.
So like, but if you had that, how cool would that be?
That'd
like,
be sick.
I mean, if you had it at Bluff, imagine it was like just a bunch of stuff off the beach, like floating in the water.
Imagine if it was on number 8, in the pond on number 8.
It'd be hard to see though. That would be hard to see.
It'd be sick though. No, when you're coming down.
You mean when we all go retrieve our golf balls?
When you're
like,
coming
that
down
looks
8
good.
to look at the green and you see huge FTK. Yeah, see, we wouldn't do the tournament. At
Imagine
Bluff,
doing
Bluff's
something
just
like
not
this.
set up for it. I thought about it.
Like a big beer garden.
I mean, that would be sick.
This.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that was.
Did you watch the Genesis this year?
Yeah.
Did you see all the little like beer tents that they had set up? They weren't even beer tents. Google Genesis. I don't know what you call them. Genesis tournament, golf tournament. Like beer tents maybe, beer tents or something like that. So they had these there were these huge boxes. Yeah. So they weren't the tents.
Like I've seen this stuff.
Yeah. So it was more like this one right here. So they had these boxes.
Oh, they're like little pop-ups.
Yeah, they were sick, dude. They were so. But I mean, that's guests. I mean, that's obviously
because that's exactly what 18 looked like once we finished.
Yeah, you don't remember those 30,000 people?
Yeah,
I do. That's the waste management. That's just.
I
so
mean,
sick.
I just want to see it.
Have you ever seen like the side by side of with all the stands set up
No, I
and
actually
then
haven't.
nothing there?
No.
You can't even tell that it's hole 16.
16 TPC.
No stands.
Yeah, that's it.
Doesn't even.
Well, that's even a tournament.
You can't even tell. Look at that picture down there, though. I mean,
Right
it's
here.
just like
On off. Like how
Isn't that wild?
there. It's like that's insane.
It's-
Also, look how
it's-
much nicer it looks when it's tournament time. But
Well, it looks nicer, but at the same time, too, though, like look at how cool having all those stands surrounding the hole makes it.
a million. Just putting those signs on the tee box has made it seem more legitimate.
So
Like it's
so
just it's
legit.
crazy how you just get like these little things that just tighten. It's like when you do like anything where you like tape stuff off or like put like a barricade up. It
Yeah.
just makes things look more official. Like
Sure.
tightens like the space up.
So my other thing too was, well, I mean, we'll talk about this stuff when we chat with Meg and everything.
that
but
is amazing. Look at that view. I mean, that
Yeah.
zoom in. That was a good zoom.
the view's incredible. But I mean, imagine
Imagine this guy like playing here and then 100,000 people, or not 100,000, what 20,000 people there.
20,000
like,
people.
Probably 6 months
Imagine
later.
imagine if they did like that, like the TPC Scottsdale experience, where they set up the stands.
I can't believe they pull that down each year.
I can, because it's look at all the damage too. Look at all that.
No, I know, but just leave that thing up. Imagine if you went and played TPC and this is what you got to tee off. I mean, nobody's in the crowd, but imagine just being able to go up in
In a stadium,
the
Yeah, you're
stadium
in a
and play,
stadium
and that's kind of
teeing
like the
off.
fun thing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's
like
pretty sick.
blast the ball into the stands and then free drop.
But yeah, I think that there's other stuff that we can do with FTK this year to raise money. Like my thought process too was to like try to get a sponsor, whether it's Dave or someone else, and do like a spot. Like you know how we did beer at the Turn. We just had a cooler.
Yeah, that was.
But if we have like an actual tent set up and it's sponsored, whether Dave and Smithfield do it or whoever does it or Libations or whoever it is, but have that sponsored. And so that's a branded thing for them, and that's sitting on number 10 tee box right outside. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of experience stuff that our golfers get to do coming into the tournament.
Yeah, and I think you could even double this up if we do the thing on Friday. So like you're getting hit like multiple days.
And that's what I'm saying from like
you're just getting a lot of golfers.
So you can absolutely raise the sponsorship dollars. I'll go to that Live Golf.
What's the chance that we could get that like on 18 where it like goes up, like spray paint behind the green?
That'd be Andy.
I mean, probably zero chance.
Because you have to have like that like vegan spray paint or whatever that doesn't kill the grass. Scroll down.
This?
Imagine having signs like that. Let's say FTK.
That would be cool.
Leading all the way down to number 1 tee box.
Number 1 or down to the putting green?
Both.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
It'd be... Have you ever seen? I know this is like, actually, how many we had? 5 or 4? 4?
2000.
Was it 19, 20, 21, 22?
It was 4.
This would be our 5th year. It would be cool if you had like each pylon had like the year and the winner. Have you ever seen like when they come out for tennis and they have like all the winners on like?
I don't think Craig would be too happy.
I mean, they
scroll down next to it. Look at those other Live signs. Some of these Live signs, Live does a really good job with branding. Like it's really simple and sleek. Like scroll a little further down.
The range.
Yeah,
we just don't have a range. But imagine having like just like these right here.
But like, see how like they surround see that tee box right there, PGA Tour versus Live on the right. Right over there. Go to the right.
Oh yeah, sir.
Yeah. See how like they have that. So see like how simple their signs are, and then it like surrounds the tee box. Like I want to do shit like that.
Yeah, I like in the background as you're putting, like on the grandstands.
It's so sick. I mean, that's the nice thing about these events, though, is like there's grandstands and there's TV. So obviously, the whole reason that all exists is for television.
This is what I want this year.
Yeah. That'd be sick. FTK with a bunch of that'd be sick.
For like, I mean, even however we do it, but like interviews, just things that, like you put this up for the draft.
Dude, to save that picture, that's perfect for the draft to make it look something like that.
Like
we were close. I mean, we had the FTK
I
banner.
I didn't like it was split.
I didn't like that we didn't have straight tables. We just had those high tops. I think this year we gotta have a better cloth and everything.
Live podium. Whatever.
Yeah, that's sick.
Okay. All right. Want to wrap this up?
Sure, dude.
Talking golf. Always a good time to talk golf. Our guest today, folks, is Jeffrey Burns, and this is episode 220 of the Galen Trombley Show. We're out. Thank you for listening to the Galen Trombley Show. Be sure to subscribe, review, and share the episode. You can follow me on all social platforms at Galen Trombley. Thanks for listening.